I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! That's right, it's time. It is time. Wake up, wake up, wake up. I am John Greaves III, and my wife Naomi and I found a Garage Gym Life to give you what you need in order to be able to succeed and achieve your fitness goals right there at home in what we consider to be the best gym in town. That includes this show, which is Get Up Way Too Early with Garage. Technically, it's Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life, but you got to get up to be up way too early with Garage Gym Life, so whatever. Anyway, I digress. The fact is, if you are just now discovering this show, thank you for being here. And I promise you, you are in for a treat. First thing I need you to do, though, if this is your first time, hit the like button and then hang on. And once you realize that this is the show, the place you need to be and what you want to support, hit that subscribe button to help us reach our goal of 50,000 subscribers. And then I need you to share the link with somebody else who might enjoy this content, because that is how the channel grows. We've seen a lot of success, and it is 100% because of people who are sharing the link and letting people know about what we are doing over here. So help me out with that. We have got a packed show today. Let me tell you what's going on today's show. In the first hour, which is this one, we're going to have news and other things. That's where I tell you about home gym related news from around the internet. Plus, we're going to have a brand new segment of our most popular segment, Recliner of Rage. Basically, you get to laugh at me as I tell you what's gotten on my nerves this week. Second hour, we're going to do React and Respond. We're going to be watching the video on the internet together, and we're going to respond to it. We'll react to it and respond to it. That's all. We've only been doing that segment for, I think, 3 weeks now, and it is a lot. It's turned out to be a lot of fun. And then in the third hour, we're going to have Jake from Garage Gym Radio. He is going to be coming on. He's going to give us an update on HomeGymCon. Jake, for those of you who don't know, Jake is the founder of Garage Gym Experiment, and Garage Gym Experiment founded the Garage Gym Radio YouTube channel. And then somewhere along there, Jake decided to create the first ever home gym convention. So basically, it's a convention of people just like you, all gathered together to ooh and ah over the latest equipment and build bonds of friendship with each other. It is a great time. It's coming up in June, and Jake's going to give us an update on what is going on. And also, he's going to talk about his new live morning show. That's right. Jake, I've pulled Jake over to my way of thinking, and he has got a live morning show on YouTube, and he's going to come in. He's going to tell us all about it and how you can watch it. And then in the final hour, we're going to go ahead and do what we do in every other hour, and that is give a shout out to everybody who's waking up to get their weekend started off the right way. So now that you know what's going on, go ahead and grab a coffee, smash that like button as I asked you before. Hit subscribe if you haven't done so. And one more thing. As we go through these different segments, this is not the kind of show where you're supposed to just kind of watch and just absorb the information. This is not like television. It's set up like a radio show, but it is designed for you guys to interact. This show doesn't work if you don't jump in the live chat and get active. Tell me if I'm talking to somebody and you have a question that you think should be asked, ask the question yourself. If I'm talking about a product and you want to know more about it, throw that question in there. If you have a question that's not related to anything we're talking about, throw it in the live chat anyway. At the very least, jump in the live chat and let me know that you're there and tell me where you're watching from, because I really am trying to figure out where everybody is watching. So let's go ahead without further ado, and let's say what's up to everybody who's in the comment section so far. So let's see. First guy in the building, my guy, Jared Martin. He said, no sleeping in the day. There you go, Jared. Turn over a new leaf. He slept in last week, but he's back. He's back. Just like in what's that show? It was in Coming to America, but it was referring to Trading Places. And they came up and they're like, Mortimer, we're back. That's Jared right there. He's back. My man Carlos said, come on, man, sing it with me. It's way too early. That's right. That's right. Jared says he successfully did a no caffeine day yesterday. That's pretty cool. Did pink Himalayan salt water all day and didn't have a crazy headache. That's nice, because that's one of the biggest things with caffeine. If you go off of it, your body's gotten used to it. You start getting a caffeine headache. And he said he's shooting for 1 to 2 days a week with no caffeine. I try to do the no caffeine thing during my deload week. I wasn't able to do it last deload week, but basically during my deload week, I use that time to kind of flush out all the, give my system a break, my digestive system a break. And that's when I'll do the no caffeine thing. Let's see. Carlos said he's getting on the treadmill and bracing for this coming freeze in Houston next week. Hey. Oh, well, yeah, that's true. He said it'll also be summer again by Wednesday if he's lucky. So that's true, too. All right, but Carlos is in the Central Time Zone. He's the Central Time Zone is in his house. My man, 619ER, that's right. He said, smash that like button like I did my alarm. It is 3 a.m. where he is, man. I appreciate you being here. And actually, he contributed to the first segment, which is news and other things. We will be jumping on that in a second. My dude, Eric Echoes, he's already at work. What's up, Eric? Appreciate you tuning in. Matthew Porter getting ready to go teach America's youth. Appreciate you stopping by. My guy, Carp's Jim. Hey, what's up, man? So far we got Texas, Florida, California, and I forgot where Eric is from, but then Carp is in Tennessee. Boom, look at that. Those are the states we got represented right now. Carp's Jim, what's up, my man? Joyce Vaudrey says she's sipping her morning brewing. Good morning. What's up, Joyce? I don't know where you are tuning in from. Put it in the chat. What state are you tuning in from, Joyce? And then my guy, Jonathan, from New England, said the No Fate channel is checking in. That's right. Oh, Joyce is in Connecticut. All right, you're in New England also. Kurt Locker, what's up, my man? Hey. That countdown is real. That countdown for Kurt Locker has started. Hey, and I believe you're in Indiana as well. So we said morning is here. So there we go. All right, let's go ahead and jump. Hey, my guy Jake coming in from Indiana. Eric, there we go. Eric is in Wisconsin. All right, Home Gym Physique is here. So let's go. All right, hey, say no more, man. Say less. Let's go ahead. News and other things. All right, news and other things. First item was actually sent to me by J619ER. And let's go ahead and see if I can pull this up. Let's get the old first screen share of the day going. I know you guys are excited about it. So let's go ahead and let's get this first screen share of the day going. Okay. Calm down there. Come on, calm down. We're going to get the screen share. There we go. All right. Bam. There we go. And so there it is. So it's these dumbbells. It's called I don't know how to pronounce this, but let's just go ahead and call it Nord. All right. And these dumbbells, they look nice. But I see you guys see the price, $8,199. Let's see if we can't get a close-up shot. This is the handle. I know y'all this is one place where I think knurling is appropriate. One of the places where I think knurling is appropriate, and it's on the dumbbell handle. So there you go. You got that handle. Looks like it's got a nice little knurl grip. Let's see if we can get another image. So the thing about them is it says, I don't necessarily see that this is accurate because it says that they're the same diameter, but those don't look like the same. The ones on the top shelf don't look like the same diameter as the ones on the two bottom shelves. But it is what it is. But they do look really nice. As you can tell, they have wood. They are partially wood. Okay, so it says that they are nickel plated steel, which I assume would be this section here. And then on the outside, it's got wood accents, wood disc accents. They go from 5 to 25 kilograms, it looks like, which is essentially 11.2 pounds up to 55.11 pounds. So one thing in its favor is this does include the rack. So this rack here is part of the package. That's good because that's unlike my current wishlist item, which is the silverback dumbbells from Fringe Sport. So you guys, I'm assuming you've seen it, but these are the silverback dumbbells, and you can see the price comparison. Now, the silverback dumbbells are also 5 pounds to 50 pounds, and the price difference is dramatic because they're only $1,100. So $1,199, and that includes shipping to the lower 48 states. So I got to see these at HomeGymCon. They look really nice. It's a single rubber mold, fully knurled. It's not really knurling because it's not metal, but it's a grippy, got a nice grippy handle. I felt them. I touched them myself at HomeGymCon, and I like them. They're quiet, safe to drop. I think this would be ideal if you're setting up a home gym that's going to be outdoors. But to me, the Nord is interesting, and I just don't know if I'm ready to pay that much money for, number one, I don't know if I'm ready to pay that much money for a dumbbell set, okay? But their entire brand specializes in fitness products that are made out of wood. So you can see the bench is partially wood. The dumbbell rack is partially wood. I'm not sure if that couch is wood, but I'm sure there's wood in it. But that's kind of their thing. So yeah, that's a lot. You know, that's a lot. So let me go and stop sharing. Let's talk about it, and I'll pull up one. I got a couple more things to say about it. I'll pull it up when we get to that point. But let's see. I think. Oh, I'm sorry, Kurt. You're in Ohio. He said where all the best gym equipment seems to be made. I don't know about that, but okay. They make good gym equipment there. Let's just say that. But I don't know if it's necessarily the best. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily the best. And Carlos said $8,000. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, all right, he said Naomi would unalive me. So, yeah, she would probably, I'd probably end up in the shadow realm. But here's the thing. If I got to, so that stuff is pretty. But if I got to that point, I'm going to tell you that, where I'm like, hey, you know what? Money's no object. I want to get the nicest dumbbells I can find for the price. Then I'm going to probably go with either Watson or Kensui. So my reason for the Watson, I'll just let you guys check them out. In case you're not familiar with Watson, let me let you see what the Watson looks like. These are Watson. They're the same shape. And let me also say, I don't typically like round dumbbells, okay? Because then what happens when you have round dumbbells is the cradles. You see, you have to have these cradles, and there's got to be space between the cradles. So that means your dumbbell rack has to be larger so that you can accommodate all of the dumbbells. But anyway, this is what the Watson, if you just got the regular Watson dumbbells, that's what those will look like. And I made sure. And what happens if you want to get some? I know at least one person who's gotten a pair. He's very happy with them. And actually, they were in his gym tour that is on our channel. I'll see if I can link. I'll find it and put the link in the video description so you guys can check it out. My guy Frog got a pair of Watsons. But anyway, the point is, even if you get the generic Watson, I mean, look at that. That's nice. That's very nice. Okay. But they also allow you to customize it, right? So you can put your logo on the end plate. You can put your logo, okay? For extra, they're in England, so it's gonna be 25 pounds more in terms the British pounds. That's gonna be the cost. And if you don't like Watson, and you say, well, I'd rather go with Kensui, then you can go with Kensui, which is, so this is their the Kensui dumbbells. Now look how nice these are. Okay. And so this is a 5 to 50 pound set. You can also get a 55, you get the 5 to 50 pound set for $24.99, or you can get the 50, and you can get the 55 to 100 pound set, $5.99. But if I were to get a 5 to 100 pound set, which is what would be most attractive to me, then I'd end up paying about the same amount of money. That includes 2 dumbbell racks and all that steel goodness right there. I mean, look at that. All right. And the other thing is, again, I mean, I just trust steel more than I trust wood in terms of durability. So there you go. Man who parks in gym. So Eric says that man who parks in gym got custom logos for his Intech dumbbells from Plate Snacks. So that's another route you could go. You just get the dumbbells you want and then customize and then get the plate stacks. I guess they're stickers or whatever. The only thing I've gotten from plate snacks was actually, it may not have been from plate snacks. It was rack reminders, magnetic rack reminders. I don't even remember. That was a couple years ago, but I've not. If those weren't from plate snacks, then I haven't gotten anything from plate snacks before. I think if I'm gonna spend that much money and I want customized dumbbells, I'm just gonna spend the money to just get, to do it that way. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think if you've already got your dumbbells and you want to customize them, then that's probably a very solid way to go. So Jay said that's 2,100 pounds in a 5 to 100 pound set. So yeah, and you also got to think about what shipping is going to be like. You're definitely getting freight. Well, I hope to God you're getting freight, because it's going to be rough if you're not. Joyce said, that's a good question. Said, doesn't the weight change as the wood absorbs moisture and then dries? So I would say, I would say that if you are getting a pair of these, you're not putting them, well, I'm not talking about what people are doing, but I'm saying if you're going to do that, I would say you should put them in a climate controlled environment where you're not just controlling the heat and cold, but you're also controlling the moisture level. So you've got the dehumidifier, you've got like legit climate control to try to minimize that. Carp said, he said, yeah, so the far outpost, I can talk. The far outpost or Garage Gym Junkies have custom sets of Watsons. And he said he thinks that's around 12 to 14K. Yeah, I mean, it's not cheap, but I'm like, if I get to the point where I'm spending $8,000, $9,000 for dumbbells, might as well just say, all right, I'm going with my best. Okay. And Kurt says his dumbbells are also custom by Plate Snacks. They're a small business in Ohio. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I legitimately have no information about them. I just know that the thing that they did with plates, I thought was like an add-on thing that you would put on. But yeah, man, and you know what? I know that there are several companies that are getting into the logo customization business as far as weights and racks and things like that. Of course, we know Executive Fit will design custom headers for you. And I think that's part of where the home gym industry is going, because you're spending all this money. Theoretically, you're going to keep it for a long time. And so we've always wanted to kind of personalize our gym. And I think this is just the next step. I still remember when people were like, oh, I want to get a banner. Instead of getting a generic banner from some company, I want to get a banner that says my gym name on it. And that was like one of the first steps towards actually customizing your gym. And I'm all for that. Actually, you know what? If I wouldn't even mind having Plate Snacks on the show, to be honest with you, so they can tell us more about their business model and the things that they offer. Because I have heard good things about them. Like I said, I just don't have a lot of experience with them. So yeah, I'm cool. Let's see here. Carp said that, man, whoa. Okay, I see what you're saying. Man who parks in gyms, Intel Ks look good. Yeah, I'm sure, man. He's, I mean, I would assume, that you guys wouldn't even bring it up if they didn't look good. So yeah. He said climate control like the Icebox Gym. Of course, man. So Jay said, I've been looking at Reps all rubber set like Carps. Lifetime warranty has me looking. So the thing that I look at, so like I said, I have actually put my hands on the Fringe Sport ones, and I really like them. When I say all rubber, I mean legitimately, they're one solid piece. It's not like rubber coated, okay? So we've seen that before, where you have a metal dumbbell and then you coat the ends with rubber. Fringe Sports are all rubber. And I was very impressed by them when I saw them. The only thing that stopped me from pulling the trigger is that they only went up to 50 pounds. But once they get to 100 pounds, I'm already, setting money aside, because I decided, yeah, they need to come to my house and join the family. So I definitely like that. But Rep's a good, solid company, and you can't ever turn down a lifetime warranty from a company that you know is going to be around. So not mad at that at all. Michael Vaudrey, what's up, man? So I wonder if the design intent of wood benches and dumbbells is to look like furniture. I think that yeah, but I think that so the customer base for this thing, I would say, is not like your average home gym owner, right? Who's like, you're definitely not super budget conscious if you're going to buy these. In fact, let me tell you guys something else. So first of all, as I said, the brand specializes in fitness products made out of wood. So I went looking for more information about them, and I found them on a website called Recovery for Athletes. And so let me go ahead and share my screen here again, because y'all know how I love sharing the screen. Well, I describe it when I can show it. And this was actually pretty interesting. It's called the Slim Beam Cable Machine. I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm not, part of the reason why it's interesting is I can't tell if this thing is actually, okay, it says click to expand and it made it smaller. Okay, not a fan of that. Anyway, I can't tell if this is bolted to the floor or not because it's not bolted to the wall. So I'm curious as to how it stays stable. This is a front shot of it. That's a nice, that's nice. And you can see the room that I'm not, I don't care how nice that is. I'm not putting it in my living room, but still that looks really, really nice. This thing, how much is that? It's $21.99. Let me see something here. And let's see, it is a weight stack. Got a nice little video here, okay, showing our hero, okay, doing that. That's pretty. That's pretty. Okay, okay. One thing that does jump out to me, though, is you're not going to be putting like a gym pin or anything like that on it. But I would assume that if you have something like that, again, I don't like to, look at people and say, you're not really strong. But, if that's what you're going for first, then to me, it's not, you're not like an athlete training for some sport where strength is a primary component, if that makes sense, But it does look interesting. Now, I told you guys I was going to tell you something I thought might change your mind, might have an effect on your opinion. So a lot of times I'll show you guys stuff, you're like, well, yeah, but who's ever actually seen this and who's vouched for it? Well, I'll tell you this. Adam from Garage Gym Lab has partnered with Nord through his Beyond Gym Design imprint. So if you didn't know, Adam has started to design home gyms for people, and his company is called Beyond Gym Design. And there you go, right there. He said, this is from yesterday. Said, we're thrilled to announce our partnership with Water Rower and Nord. Said their equipment is both functional and beautiful. It's sure to make a statement in any room. So he says, basically, you can visit the Beyond Gym Design showroom to try it firsthand. You see Marcus from Twisted Barbell Gyms commented on it. Golden Larch Designs has checked it out. Garage Gym Experiment, he saw it. So, yeah. So I don't expect Adam to put his name behind something that is So the reason I'm pausing is because the word I was going to use is a Liberian word, and y'all won't know what that means, okay? Yes, I'm from Liberia, West Coast Africa, right? And my default setting for that was a Liberian word. It's not like profanity. It's just you won't know what it is. So, well, my mom watches it, okay? So since my mom watches this, and I do have families watching it, I would say Adam's not going to put his name behind anything Togafle. Okay. Now, for you guys who are not Liberian, Adam is going to put his name behind something that's quality. Okay. He's not going to just pick any old, let's say, janky fly-by-night outfit. If that, let's go with that. It's funny because I don't normally have to translate from Liberian English to American English here. That's hilarious. All right. So Jay said I would do the 5 to 50 pound set, then 10-pound increments, 60 to 100. Hey, Okay. So Jay, Fringe did email you yesterday that they are up to 100. I know Peter, when he was on here, said that they were planning on doing it. I just hadn't seen him on the website yet. I need to reach out to him because it's definitely on my wish list. Carp said the thing about the French is I think all the handles are the same size. So I used the one I went all the way up to the 50s because that's what was at HomeGymCon, and I didn't have any problems. My wife wasn't there with me, so I don't know if the diameter would be an issue, but I'm imagining it wouldn't. I mean, she uses she doesn't use all the dumbbells here at the house, but all the dumbbells up to 50s that are 50 that's up here that are here at our house, she's using, hasn't had an issue with them. So I would assume it's the same thing. Let's see. Carb said also something like the Darko rack badges are an easy custom rack option. Also love everything I got from Executive Fit. Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. Carlos said, how dare you insult our intelligence? Wait, you're right. I didn't know. Hey, I didn't figure you would know what Doga Fled meant. So I didn't think so. There's a lot of other things I can say. You just be looking at it. I've had people who have heard Liberian English, like somebody's talking to me or me and somebody else are having a conversation in Liberian English, and people who are not from Liberia, who aren't familiar with it, swear up and down to us that we're not speaking English. So, yeah. And then Carb said, it makes me wonder if they can have a 5 to 50 pound set, a 5 to 50 pound, a 5 to 75, and a 50 or so individual dumbbells over 50. Yeah, I mean, I think all of that's going to depend on how well the stuff sells, just like anything else. But yeah, that was my thing. So how do you guys feel about the Nord? I'll show them to you guys one more time. See if I can't pull this up here. I'll show them to you guys one more time. I want to know what you guys think of this, especially now that you know that that Adam from Garage Gym Labs has kind of put his seal of approval on them. So let me know what you guys think. Put it in the comments. If you're watching live, put it in the live chat. If you are watching on replay, go ahead and throw a comment on there. If you're listening to the audio version on Podbean, just go ahead and head on over to YouTube, hit subscribe, and then drop a comment. Let me know what you think of it. Think of these. So I am curious. All right, that's the first item. All right, next item. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And Watson. Just clearing it out. Clearing it out. All right, next item. Bells of Steel is their buzzsaw bench is back in stock. The buzzsaw, let's look at all their adjustable benches. This is it. All right. And let's go ahead and share that screen. All right, so the buzzsaw, it's the buzzsaw heavy duty adjustable bench. This is a pre-order. You've got options. It's going to ship by February 24th. Okay, so if you order now, it's going to ship by February 24th. The email said back in stock, but I guess that doesn't quite mean the same thing. Let's see what it says. Let me go back and look at this one more time. Maybe it didn't say back in stock. Am I making up stuff here? Yeah, it says back in stock. Buzzsaw 2.0 heavy duty adjustable bench in blue. Oh, in blue and purple is back in stock. Okay, so let's go here. So purple bench is back in stock, and the blue bench is back in stock. All right. But if I were to get this, it would be in black because that's my favorite color. And what I like about this is you have the option of getting just a bench with no attachments. So it's pretty much like every other adjustable bench. Or you can get it with the leg extension leg curl attachment. You can get it with a leg roller attachment. So this goes then you can use it for like sit-ups and whatnot. Or you can get it with all three. Price difference is you're gonna pay $449 for just the bench, $449.99 plus shipping for just the bench, and then $659.96 if you get plus shipping if you get the whole shebang. So that would be bench, leg roller. Bench. Is that the leg roller? Yeah. and then adapter. So you get your adapter right there. And what the heck? It's funny. Google just let me know that I have an appointment with Jake coming up in a couple hours. I'm aware. He's going to be on my show. I'm aware. In the leg curl, leg extension attachment. So that will be $659.96. Okay. So there you go. That's like that's good for you guys to check out. Let's see here. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comment section. Matthew Porter says I'm working with Nate from Executive Fit to make custom magnetic rack signs. Are you talking about stuff that'll say like, okay, like your height for like where you would put it for the bench, for example, right? If I'm bench pressing, this is where I need to set my J hooks. If I'm squatting, this is where I need to set my J hooks. So something like that. Or are you talking about like the little custom headers so that it's just be magnetic? You just throw it up there. What do you mean by magnetic sign, custom magnetic rack signs? I did not see a red option for the buzzsaw at this time. So I guess my answer to that question, Carlos, is no red option. He says shipping should be included. Well, I'm going to tell you that, because it is going to go over the amount for free shipping. I got you. Even though there's no such thing as free shipping. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yes, it should. If you get that, it should be over the amount, the threshold for shipping to be included. Jay said color options for the Manicure would be nice. I think the thing with Bells of Steel, man, is they like to make stuff and see how it sells before they start putting out different colorways. Because you got to think, while on the one hand, it's just a matter of painting it a different color. It's going to be, paint costs money. So it's going to cost, it's going to add to the cost if you have to set up the paint booth with a different color than just saying, hey, we're making all of these and we're making it black. Because not only are you also, because then you'll have to factor in the time to the labor time to change out the paint for the paint booth. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that that's probably going to be governed again by how they sell. Carp said for that price, I would prefer the Fringe Falcon bench, but that only comes in clear and black. Personally, I'd rather have something with a rear cage on the ladder system and a tripod front post. All right, you know what? You brought it up. We're going to go look at it. The Falcon bench from Fringe Sport. Let's go right over there right now. Right now. So let's share the screen because I like to, whenever you guys bring it up, this is news. So whenever you guys bring up news, that's just to me as valid as me bringing it up. So that's pretty. Okay, get out of here. All right. That is pretty. $4.99. Shipping's included. That's what the clear coat looks like. It's so it's 11 gauge steel, 11 bench settings. Okay, so that's flat. That's a close-up. And again, this is a clear coat. That's pretty. That's pretty. All right, now let's look at black. Wesley Snipes said always bet on black. So what is does black, do we have pictures of black? Says ladder style adjustment system. Okay. 9 adjustable settings, features a built-in upright storage post so you can store it vertically when not in use. Yeah. So I would say that is the vertical storage thing is probably the thing that matters the most to me when it comes to any sort of adjustable bench. It's because space is tight, man. Even Rory Ellis, who's got that magnificent Taj Mahal gym, still you want to, you can fill up that space quick. Just think of how big weight equipment is. Just think about how much space it all takes up. To me, you're losing out if you don't make your adjustable bench available to store in an upright position in some way. Now, Bells still does offer like a thing so you can hang your bench up, but that's a good point, Carp. Let's see here. Kurt is in favor of Porter and Executive Fit. Let's see. Carlos said black goes with everything. Yeah. I mean, it's been my favorite color since I was in high school. And Carp said Fringe did limited runs on the Dane. They did like 10 green, 10 and red. It looks like those have already sold out. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you, Carlos. I appreciate. Hey, man, I'm telling you, my mom actually got me a hat. I don't really wear ball caps, but she got me a ball cap with the logo on it, and I'm gonna be hanging it up like right here because I've been a fan of the Washington football team since 1981. Really 1982, because that's the year we played in the Super Bowl and we destroyed the Dolphins. But John Riggins ran all over him. That was a glorious thing to see. And I was a little kid, and I didn't know anything. So I immigrated to the United States in 1980. So I didn't really know about American football when I came to the States. And so and we lived in the DC area. So the first team I really saw were the Washington Redskins. Okay. And then I see them 2 years after I get to the States. I see them go to the Super Bowl and win. So you got to think about it. In the 1981 season, they qualified for the Super Bowl in 1982. So I'm like, oh, and it was like, Redskin stuff was everywhere. So yeah, I've been a fan since. I'm not the only one too. We're out there. Brandon Campbell Diamond is a fan of the team as well. So yeah, right. Hey, we got 649 of you guys watching right now, watching live. Do me a favor. Don't just sit there. I need you to click that like button and hit subscribe. Help me reach 50,000 subscribers. Okay, we're trying to get something done. Matthew Porter has just texted me. This is live. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to. Matthew, do me a favor. Can you, if you want to show this, can you DM it to me on Instagram? If you do not want to show it, just text me back and say you're not ready to show it to the world yet. Okay, but yeah, that looks pretty nice. I like that. That's pretty cool. All right, and it was referring to the rack, the magnetic rack signs. All right, so let's go back to the comment section. All right, Carlos. Actually, let me say one more thing here. Also, if you guys are watching, I want to say this too. The way that this show is designed is so that, yes, it's interactive, but I don't want you to feel like you have to just sit where you are and watch the show. So if this is your first time, like I said, there's 651 of you guys watching right now. You don't have to sit right there watching. The show is designed like a radio show. So if you got to go do something, you're going to jump in the shower or whatever, go take a shower. I approve of that. Then come back, turn the show back on, and just listen to us in the background while you get your day started. If you, you're about to get in the car, you don't want to have YouTube on while you're in the car, cool. Cut it off, turn it back on when you get to where you're going, because I want you to drive safely, okay? So that's what I wanted to, I just want you guys to understand that this is a show that's designed for you guys to be able to check it out at your convenience. But watching live, if you're watching on replay right now, what you are missing out, because watching live is where you get to jump in the conversation like all these people who are in the live chat. Okay. All right. So back to the comment section here. We'll clear these out and then we'll move on to the next item. 639. We gotta run. We gotta pick this pace up. So Jay said that the French port bench looks like the Terminator with the clear coat. And Peter said 17 inches in height. Okay. That's outstanding. And Eric said, I reached out to Body Solid to try and get them to make a vertical storing seated calf raise machine. As much as I like Body Solid, I'm going to say that they're not necessarily innovators. Instead, what they do is they see what's out there and then they try to come up with an affordable option for you. Okay. What I like about them is they stand by. If they give you a lifetime warranty on a product, they stand by it, and they've been in business for like 30 years. So the lifetime warranty from them means something. To me, they're a more budget-friendly option for a lot of things. And another thing is they sell through their dealers. So they've got a dealer just about everywhere in America. So you can go out to the dealer and you can try the stuff before you buy it. So those are the reasons I like Body Solid. But I wouldn't say that that's where to go if you want like innovation necessarily. All right. So Matthew said, as far as the signs, there's signs for the uprights or cross members. They're going to be smaller than a header. He said my brother's making these a few years back out of aluminum. I'm going to answer this one more question from Michael. So this is referring back to Washington. So Washington's called the Washington Commanders right now. Probably don't even name change. So I'm going to tell you like this. The owner of the team grew up a Redskin fan. And I'm sorry, the owners of the team, aside from Magic Johnson, all grew up as Redskins fans. And I would say that they are not, like most of the fan base, they're not 100% happy with the name Commanders, both because Commanders is a very difficult name to shorten, so it's hard to say it fast. So like, for example, the Buccaneers have the same number of syllables as Commanders, but you can say the Bucks, okay? And it's just, that's just something that people want. Like when we're the Redskins, you can say the Skins. I know a lot of people who just call them the Skins, regardless of the name. But to cut to the chase, we actually had the rights to the name Warriors, and then Daniel Snyder didn't pay to maintain the rights to use it. And one of the people who was involved with our GM search is closely tied to the Golden State Warriors. So there's a possibility that we would go to the Warriors name. Okay. I do know that the old logo has been authorized again to be used because, quite frankly, the family of the Native American who designed the old logo and the Native American tribe that the person who's actually depicted in the old logo is from all said, hey, why are you erasing us from history, and complained. And so the old logo is approved for use on certain gear. It's not, because if Native Americans say they don't think it's racist, you can't tell them it's racist. So that's a very long way of saying, for people who probably aren't interested at all, I think that there's a probability of a name change, but I don't see them doing it before we get a new stadium. That hopefully that'll be RFK, going back to the RFK site. So there we go. All right. And a lot of people still say Redskins. Yeah, I got you, Carp. I'll just say Washington football team, because that's actually just a description, and it covers all of the names from when we moved to Washington. Obviously, it doesn't really cover from when we were the Boston Braves, but from the minute we got to Washington, it covers every iteration of the team. So Washington Redskins, Washington when we didn't have a name and our nickname, and we just called ourselves Washington Football Team, and Washington Commanders. That's pretty much the easiest way to do it. That's it. All right. So I've got this. Let me reach over here and grab this. Give me just a second. This is the last item in news and other things. Let me reach over there and get it. Let's get this here. Okay. Move some stuff around. Sorry about that. I know that was riveting for those of you who are listening to just a replay. But if you're listening to just a replay, you're going to want to go to YouTube to see this. So this is the Bob and Brad X6 Pro Max industrial grade massage gun. And Bob and Brad just sent this to us. We just got it. We literally just got it. And is actually because they are the sponsors of this episode of the of Up Way Too Early with Garage in Life. So go ahead and take this my first ever unboxing live. It's still in the plastic, just like certain people's couches. All right, so there's it. Every Bob and Brad massage gun comes in these carrying cases. That's one reason why I really like them. Let's go ahead and pop this homie open. So you see it comes with several attachments, okay? And I like that. So it's got, this is one of my favorite attachments. This is the one I usually default to, but it's got, this is for your thigh. This one is like more trigger point. Okay, it replicates like a thumb. This one is the one that you'd want to use like for like basically somewhere, I guess like your IT band, somewhere that's tender, because it's got the little bit of foam. It eases the pain just a little bit. It's got this one here. This reminds me of the end swell that we used when I was fighting. You know, the thing you kind of see in fights and people like, you push it like across like somewhere it's my swelling. So it's just metal, but I really do like it. And then it's got this hot and cold head right here. Okay, so this one is going to give you hot and cold therapy, which is similar to their C2 Pro that we reviewed on our channel a while back. The difference between this one and the C2 Pro, so the C2 Pro has heated cold massage, and this X6 Pro has heated cold massage. The difference that I can see right now is in the amount of percussive force, right? So, or rather the stall force. So stall force is basically how hard you can push on the massage gun before it'll just cut off on you. And so the C2 Pro will take 44 pounds of stall force, and the X6 Pro will take 55 pounds of stall force. Let's see what else here. They're both quiet, but the X6 Pro has, they say, superior sound insulation, and it is approved for carry-on. So typically, if I'm going to use this thing, which I guess I could take out of the additional plastic now. So this is it. It's not necessarily what I would call compact, but it is approved to carry on, so you could take it on the plane with you. And let's go ahead. Normally I would, well, I'll just go ahead and do it. Oh, so unlike most massage guns, like I said, this is really, really quick. You know, most massage guns, you just shove the head in. With Marvin Rad, you want to twist it in because you want to screw it in because that way it's not going to come loose when you are using it. And without looking at the directions or anything, I love the fact that with Bob and Brad, most of their stuff is similar. So I've used so many of their massage guns now that I know all you gotta do is long press on this. Hopefully it's got juice. Yay, all right. And they show up. A lot of times they show up with at least a partial charge. You can see the charge indicator here at on the haft. This is the highest setting. All right. And this is what it actually sounds like. It's not super loud. And there you go. Okay. And then long press, cut it off. So that's Bob and Brad. Like I said, they are the sponsors for this episode. You can use our affiliate link. I will copy and paste that affiliate link. If you guys want to support the show, then do me a favor and use those right there. That's your link to use. And then you're going to also, we have a discount code. So here's a discount code. And the discount code is in the description for this video, but I'm also going to post it right here in the live chat. So if you're watching on replay, then I will put the discount code. You know what? I'm not going to make you look for it. I'll put the discount code and the link, and I'll pin it in the comments to the first comment. Okay. So I'm telling you, the Bob and Brad, whenever anybody, I've got several family members who, they have massage guns, whatever. And anytime I see them using some old janky, sorry, y'all know the word now. They got any kind of doga flare wawa massage gun. I say, hey, you need to try this Bob and Brad one. And they are always sold immediately. Like, this is so much better. So yeah, man, I think they're great. So anyway, all right, let's see here. So that is that. Now, that is enough joy for right now. It's time for some rage. Okay, that's right. Your favorite segment right now. Recliner Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage, 'cause he's not happy.
I am not happy at all that today's Recliner of Rage is dedicated to the kerosene fuel shortage we had in Georgia. Okay, look, I get it. It snowed, all right? But y'all got to relax, okay? Y'all got to relax, man. For real. I mean, seriously, you got to relax. They told you the snow's only going to be here for 2 days, 3 at the max, okay? So basically, we had snow for the weekend, all right? It started snowing on Friday. It stopped snowing on Saturday morning. And by Sunday, there was no snow on the ground, okay? And yet, let's back up. So we use Clean Heat. The Clean Heat brand specifically is not, not sponsored, although I am open to sponsorship. If somebody from Clean Heat is watching this, I'll take money. But we've used Clean Heat brand kerosene fuel in our kerosene heater. We got a Dura Heat heater, and we use that brand of kerosene fuel to heat our garage gym, right? It burns clean, and we don't have issues with fumes like you can get from other brands. Now, we do put an additive in there as well, but still, it works great, okay? And in fact, we've used that heater when we actually had a real ice storm a few years ago that actually did shut everything down, and we just brought it upstairs, and it heated the house. We just kept all the doors open. It heated the whole house just fine. I digress. So we use Clean Heat fuel in our kerosene heater in our garage gym. But because of the recent snowfall, everybody hears about it, and they run out and they buy kerosene heaters, and they buy up all of the Clean Heat fuel that was at Home Depot, that was at Lowe's, that was at Sam's. My wife, Naomi, was going around looking for kerosene, and she could not find kerosene. First, we looked for Clean Heat, couldn't find it. Let's look for any other kerosene. Zip, zero, nada, none. Seriously, this is a problem. All right. All because they panicked because they saw snow falling. But again, I say it only lasted for 3 days. They told us it was only going to last. And when I say 3 days, that's being generous. It lasted all day. It snowed Friday, and the snow stopped Saturday morning, and it lasted part of the day Saturday. And by Sunday, really Saturday night, it was gone. Okay? Come on, man. They took all the... Naomi went to the grocery store. They had cleaned the grocery stores out of bread and milk. I'm like, this is not a zombie apocalypse. 3 days. That's it. 3 days. Come on, man. So we went to get, I was able to find more kerosene. So there's a happy ending to this story, at least. I was able to find it, but I wasn't able to find it until 2 days later. So we've had a few bundled up workouts in the garage. I actually tweaked my back squatting because of, it was cold. And yeah, man, not good at all. Okay. But you know what? That's fine. They got Clean Heat back in stock at Home Depot now. And I went there and I grabbed some. And from now on, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a solutionist. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to apply the same philosophy to kerosene that I have for toilet paper and pre-workout. Always have two. And when you only have one, it's time to buy some. Okay? We're going to go doubles. Doubles. That's it. All right? You can call it hoarding if you want to, but I'm about to have multiple things of kerosene in my dang house until winter is over. Okay? Because you do not need... That's fine. I learned my lesson. You got me once. You ain't getting me again. You ain't getting me again. Okay? You just ain't. That's my word. I'm standing on that. And that was Recliner Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage, 'cause he's not happy.
Now, if you guys would like to still be mad about the kerosene thing, I'm not stopping you, okay? I've gotten over it because now I got a solution, but you feel free to still be mad, okay? And I appreciate you being mad on my behalf because that's the kind of brotherhood, togetherness, and we're a family, okay? And you know the rule. If one's mad and we all mad and we stay mad till the one's not mad anymore. All right. So let's go back to the comment section, see what y'all got to say. said I need to use that word to explain Fernando. Actually, in the last time, so you're talking about Dogafle. My last sentence, I actually used two different words. So, quick story. So we say, for those of you who are from the Northeast, you're familiar with Wawa, right? Great establishment. I love it. Okay. It's no Buc-ee's, but I'm a fan of Wawa. Okay. And I actually kind of like Wawa over Sheetz, to be honest with you, but I digress. Anyway, but when I first saw it, I thought it said Wawa. And Wawa is kind of like the word Dogafle. Okay. It means you're not good. Right? It's saying like it's not good. So I saw it, I was like, that ain't good. It's kind of like when it's kind of like since I grew up in Maryland, we call it Bamas, right? So if we say somebody's a Bama, that's not somebody cool. They're not cool at all, right? I came down here to the South. Well, Maryland's technically in South, but you know what I'm saying. I came down to the South and to Georgia, and I see people driving around with license plates that said Bama. And I was like, why would you ever put that on your license plate? You know what I mean? I was like, I don't understand it. So it took me a minute to get it, but I got it now. But anyway, yeah, so that's my story. Carlos said Houston does that crap. Buy up all the gas just to not go anywhere. I know. It's like, seriously, 3 days. Come on, man. He said, and how much do you poop? 1 pack of toilet paper will get you to the weekend. I mean, look, like I said, we typically will get a pack, not a roll now. We get a nice pack, but then we're not shopping again for a while. All right. But I'm just saying, we don't do just the 1 or 2 rolls thing. We done with that. He said, I love that philosophy. Yeah, buy 2. If always have 2. As soon as you only got 1, time to go buy some. There you go. It's just that simple. How cold does your garage gym get in the winter without heat? Is what Eric says. It's been 20 degrees. I mean, it obviously depends on how cold it is outside, but because we got concrete floors, it's a little bit colder than the rest of the house. So it holds onto its concrete floors, and then the walls are partially cement. So all of that tends to hold the cold. So it stays cold a little bit longer. Now that's great in the summertime because it doesn't. All I have to do is put my garage door screen up to block the direct sunlight, and it stays a whole lot cooler in here. And then I put the fan on if I really need to. So that's a plus. Carlos said, that's right. We all mad. Thank you. I appreciate that support, man. That's what I'm talking about. Be on my side. You said sweats and a hoodie. So Jay's on the West Coast. He's in California. He said sweats and a hoodie solves our cold weather. Now, I used to live in Reading, and I remember in Reading, I had a starter jacket in Reading because I used to watch these videos. I said, why these people, that's back, it's like in the 90s, right? Before the riots and all that. I was like, why these dudes fighting all the time? All this gang violence. And then I see the videos and everybody got a hoodie on. I said, well, it's hot. Take them. That's why you're mad. It's hot. Then I went to California. I said, oh, okay. I apologize. And I also say that I had a buddy who went to San Francisco in July, and he said the wind off the Bay Area was so cold he had to put on a sweater. That ain't living right. I'm sorry. And you know about Buc-ee's. And Matthew said he sent the picture of the magnetic rack header to Instagram. Okay, let's go check it out. Actually, I don't want to disturb that because that's for the next segment. So let's do this instead. This way I can show y'all. Show her body. All right, so let's see here. All right, let's see here. Let's share the screen. And there we go. All right, so this is them. All right, that looks pretty nice. I like that. Just throw it up there, give you a nice little, it's like an accent piece. It's a nice little touch. I like that. Okay. Nice. Okay. All right. Jay said he's wearing shorts and tees 355 days out there. Oh, I get it. I bet you go swimming in the water in San Diego. That water's cold. Oceanside, I mean. Yeah. I touched it with my hand. I said, nope, my people are tropical. Nope. Toilet paper. That's right. Toilet paper advice. That's why y'all come to this show. Buy packs, not rolls. Okay, there you go. Carp said, I see people try to buy kerosene and gas and pump it into plastic shopping bags because they didn't have a gas can or a kerosene can. That is the height of stupidity. If you're going to do that, the same place where you bought up all the kerosene unnecessarily also sells those blue kerosene containers and those red gas cans. But look, just all I'm saying is stop it. Just stop it. I mean, you might say it's still pretty warm, but that depends on what you're accustomed to. And if it gets colder than that for you, I'm gonna tell you that that's self-inflicted, because there are flights that go away from where you live every single day of the week. Okay, every single day of the week. You're staying up there where it's even colder than that because you like the cold, you know. So I don't feel sorry for y'all at all. Have at it. When my son used to live in Chicago, I was like, dude, and he showed me like the thing where it's like, it was like, I think he said it was like 40 degrees in their apartment building lobby, right? There's sheets of ice out there. I said, dude, I've been there in the wintertime, and I'm gonna tell you this. You know what I did? I left. Okay, and as soon as his tour of duty was up in Chicago, he skied up and got out of there and went to the West Coast. So yeah. Yeah, I don't like that either. When people stock up the kerosene so they can sell it, I don't like that at all. You know. And Matthew said, this is the sign my brother made. So the ones Nate will be making will be from custom epoxy blanks. That looks good, man. I'm assuming it'll be on your website and on his. But yeah, I think that looked really nice. I like that. I like that. All right, it is 7:01. Shout out to the Central Time Zone, although we've got several of you guys from the Central Time Zone here in the building. Do me a favor, everybody, if you're watching right now, I'm going to say it again. Click like, hit subscribe. If you've been watching for at least an hour, I hope I've entertained you enough that you say this is something I want to see all the time. Plus, we have other stuff on this channel that you can check out, entertaining stuff. We've got product reveals, product reviews. There is a difference. So we got product reviews, we got product reveals, we've got the occasional home gym tour, and we've also got workout videos showing, little shorts showing me working out. We've also got, my wife has started a fitness vlog that is available to our members that you can check out. She's going to be talking about her fitness journey, as well as talking about what she's doing with nutrition to get her closer to her fitness goals. So that's a lot here, man. Of course, like I said, this show. So do me a favor, like I said, hit subscribe, help the channel grow, because we can't do it without you guys. And then if you are 100% already you've already subscribed, and you want to help us even more, then do this. Hey, I don't want you to just watch this video. I need you to like, subscribe, and if you're already a subscriber, I want you to join our channel for 99 cents a month so you can help us improve YouTube for the home gym community. Okay, back to the video. All right, there you go. So it is now time for our next segment, which is React and Respond. This is a segment that we've been doing for a little while, and it is turned out to be a pretty fun segment. So what it basically is you and I will watch a video from the internet together, and then we respond to it. Okay, hence the name React and Respond. So the first video is actually what I'm calling it, Pinkies Up, the saga continues. Okay, so the video we're gonna watch is in response to something I said during last week's show, and I love that. All right, so Rory Ellis, my guy Rory Ellis, saw me say that I do not like those lateral raise attachments for power racks. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll just show you one right now. I'm just gonna go with a lateral raise attachment. So I'm not endorsing this product. I'm just showing it to you. So let's go with PowerTech. All right. So this is a PEC fly attachment. It looks like it's PowerTech. And we won't use that one. I don't like that way. No, I ain't doing that. It's not immediately obvious what it is. So we're not going to use that. Yeah, sure. Okay, whatever. All right. Like I said, I'm not endorsing it, but I'm just going to show you this one. So this is a Mikolo. And actually, I guess this one's a good one because we do have Luke's Garage Gym did do a review of it. So anyway, but this is the lateral raise attachment. And basically, the idea is you can do lateral raises with it. Okay. So I said that I don't like those, though, because in my opinion, they fix your limb length. They're not adjustable to limb lengths. And also, I don't like the fact that they force you, for the most part, to do the lateral raise with your pinky level with your thumb. Okay. That led to Rory posting a comment on that video from last week where he disagrees, which is fine. However, I will say that I think he's disagreeing with something that I'm actually not saying. So before we go any further, we're going to watch Rory's video from Instagram. Okay. So let me go ahead and screen share it. I will turn the sound on and everything else. If it's already playing, so I'll just let it go through once and then it'll play again. So here is Rory's video. Let's turn the sound on.
Something that bodybuilders have just talked about for a long time. They say it recruits more lateral or the medial deltoid, and it technically does. But the difference in recruitment between this movement and a palms down is so marginal that unless you're a top 3 Mr. Olympia competitor stepping on stage in a week with 3% body fat, you will never see a difference in gains. I promise you. So what you're actually doing when you turn your pinky out, you're internally rotating your shoulder. And what you do when you do that, as you abduct your arm, the head of the humerus is pushed up into the acromion process, and all the rotator cuff muscles that attach onto the head of the humerus are now impinged between the head of the humerus and that acromion process. And it causes a lot of impingement and a lot of pain in the rotator cuff. So I do not recommend doing your lateral raises like this with your pinky up. It's no more beneficial, I promise you. The amount of recruitment extra that you get from that is not worth the potential pain or injury. In fact, the Q pinky up actually started so people would not put their thumb up because most people are anterior delt dominant. So as they're doing their lateral raises, they tend to have their thumb up, which puts a lot more emphasis on the anterior delt, which no one needs more. What is going on now, Rory, Ellis, Romance Training? Talk about lateral raises and how to get the most out of them so you get that nice capped delt that everyone wants. So this video was sparked by a conversation that was had last week on the Garage Gym Life podcast with John Greaves III. He was saying that he doesn't like lateral raise attachments because the handle is neutral. So when he does the lateral raise, his palm faces down. And he likes it when his palm is behind him and his pinky is facing up. So that's something that bodybuilders have just talked about for a long time. They say it recruits more lateral or the medial deltoid, and it technically does.
Okay, so you guys, was everybody able to hear? Do me a favor, drop a comment. Let me know if you were able to hear what Rory was saying. And I will even do this. I'm even going to post. Here's the link. I'm posting in the live chat so you guys can see Rory's comment. Okay, so whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can see it. Okay, I will also post it in the video description so that and in the show notes, in the episode notes, if you're listening to the replay on Podbean. Okay, that way you guys can watch it for yourselves. All right, so here's the thing. I am not saying what he thinks I'm saying. So here is what I'm saying. And let's go ahead and I will play that now. All right, so this is in response to a video from my guy, Rory Ellis, the head of Roman Strength. Rory knows a lot about training, so I'm not in any way disparaging his knowledge. But we're having a slight disagreement about lateral raises. So in last week's episode of Up Way to a Garage Gym Life, I mentioned that I don't like fixed lateral raise attachments because they force your palm to stay even with your thumb, like my hands are right now, when you're doing a lateral raise. And I don't like that. So, and the reason I don't like that is because I don't feel like it's optimal for recruiting your lateral delts. Instead, what I'm advocating for is where your pinkies are slightly higher than your thumb. I'm not advocating for this because this, I agree with Rory, this will impinge your rotator cuff, all right? It removes the space from your subacromion, and it's just not good. So what I am advocating instead, and it doesn't impact your subacromial space, is you take one small step forward. It's like a half step. You'll have to play around to see what works best for you. And you want to come up and your pinky that might be 5 degrees at best, higher than your thumb. And that's it. I can even, without any weight in my hand, I invite you to try this at home. Without any weight in my hand, there's nothing here. I take a step forward and I come up and I can feel it. As soon as I turn my thumb down slightly, I feel it in there. You also notice that I'm not going straight out to the side. I'm going out slightly in front and turning my thumbs down. I'm not the only one to say it. Vince Gironda said it, and the first Mr. Olympia, Larry Scott, said it. And I believe the great Charles Glass is an advocate of it too. So don't listen to me, listen to them, but also try it for yourself. That's all I'm saying. Try it for yourself. Now, I'm not saying to turn your thumb down like you're saying go ahead and put him to death in the gladiatorial arena. I'm saying a slight, very slight turn down, and you can literally feel the difference even with nothing in your hands. That's it. That's all I got to say. All right. Hey, Keith Honeycutt, celebrity in the building. What's up, my man? Appreciate you hanging out. Kurt says Rory is right. He is partially right. I will also say, by the way, that he doesn't say that turning your, although I'm not saying turn it all the way dramatically, like you're with a vertical fist with your pinky on top. He doesn't say that turning your pinky down slightly doesn't work. What he says is that the difference is only going to be noticeable in a small section of the population. Okay. So I will say, though, that in my favor is, number one, I'm not saying vertical hand position with your pinky on top. That's uncomfortable to do just sitting here. Two, the reason why I said I didn't like that is because the way I prefer to do it, the way I said I don't like machines, lateral raised attachment machines, because the way I prefer to do it is going to be restricted by those machines as far as I know. So my way is free. That doesn't stop you from buying the machines if you want and doing lateral raises with the machine. And then when you feel like it, do them with the dumbbell. I don't care. But, hang on. Yeah. So people said like you want to pour the pitcher, like you're pouring a pitcher of Kool-Aid or something, or sweet tea if you're in the South. Yes. But again, if you're going to go that far, an extreme, that's going to injure you. And in fact, in the pictures that I showed last week of Larry Scott doing it, he had the slight angle, just like I said. Slight angle. His hands were not vertical like that. I'm happy to show those pictures again if anybody won. I'm not. If you guys want to see it, that's fine. So said the muscle recruitment increase was marginal. That's not talking about population. He said that you're only going to notice if you're one of the top 3 in the Mr. Olympia contest. That is talking about population. So there's that. But he didn't say it didn't work. It's one thing if you say you got to buy this machine because it works. And me saying, well, that machine isn't optimal, which is what I said. It's not optimal. And my way is free. You don't believe me? Try my way with some rocks from your backyard right now. Go find 2 heavy sticks from your backyard and try it my way. Or, like I said, try it with nothing in your hands. And at the end of the day, it's your money. Spend it on what you want. If you already have a lateral raise attachment in your house, I'm not telling you to put it on Facebook Marketplace. I'm just telling you that I think that is not optimal. So I personally am not going to spend the money to buy something that I don't think is going to be optimal. Hey, Bobby, we got a bodybuilder. So Bobby said the argument is on the machine. And he said it is a good alternative for people who like variation and are tired of standard dumbbell raises. There you go. It's a variation. And okay. I'll see you comment, Eric. I'll come to that in a second. So it's a variation. And to be honest with you, you could buy it and do the dumbbells and then do the machine if you want to. It's a variation. I'm just saying that with space being at a premium in my home gym, I'm not about to buy an attachment that does something that I think is suboptimal. So there's that. Eric said Athlete X always said to keep the pitcher from pouring. So Athlete X said a lot of things, and I typically don't listen to him because I don't like him. I don't like the fact that he tends to use scare tactics to promote all of his stuff. Okay. He's one of those people that would scare you out of doing anything. So yeah. Oh, okay. Carp said it also reminds me of should you or should you not do upright rows, but with a wider grip, upright rows on a straight bar seem to be better and not as impinging. So that's another thing too. If I do upright rows, I actually use dumbbells once again, because I can move around to where it feels good for me. And that's the main reason why I don't like the machine, is because it's not like the machine has, so Bobby is 6'6", right? And if he and I go use the same machine, I would want the machine to adjust to accommodate the fact that my arms are not as long as Bobby's. Okay? Bobby Allen. All right? I picked you because I see that you're watching. So that's what I'm trying to say. You're going to have better range of motion, or even if you use a cable. I'm also in favor of using the cable attachment for lateral raises. I'm not anti-machine. I'm just saying that something that locks you in to what I consider to be a less than optimal position is, to me, a waste of money. Why would I buy something that's not going to improve my position? All right, think about that. Why would I buy something that's not going to improve on what I can already do? And that's my, like KRS once said, that's my philosophy on the industry. All right. Keith said, I'll try my dumbbell lateral raise with the pinky very slightly elevated later today. Yeah, man, that's all I'm saying. Try it. Make sure you take a half step forward. And if you want, and when you do it, Google Larry Scott. Before you do it, Google Larry Scott lateral raise, and you'll see how he does it, because it'll give you a better idea of what I'm trying to say. Because, you know, don't get it secondhand from me. Get it from the person that I got it from. And there's that. All right. Now, next. All right. So Jay said, is that the same movement like the commercial gym pieces that you lift with your elbows? They do have lateral raise machines that you lift with your elbows. Let me see here. Let's see if I can find one. Well, I mean, even this one that I said I wasn't a huge fan of from PowerTech. That's more of a pec one though. So let's see. I'm trying to find them. All right. So I don't even know what brand this is, but let's just go ahead and pull this up here. It's on Amazon. Let's go up right here. And I'm trying to see if I can find images of using it. Yeah. All right, so let me share my screen real fast. I think this is what you're talking about. Never heard of this brand. I'm not endorsing them. But yeah, you see that my man's hands are underneath. His elbows are kind of in a different spot. Side note, ain't no dang way, okay? That was hilarious. All right, but anyway, yeah. But I have seen them like where you kind of you sit down and you face the machine, and then your elbows, the pad is resting on kind of like your elbow, the bottom of your bicep, your brachialis, and then you go up. Yeah, roughly. Carlos said he only drinks tea with his panky up. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Smith machine for honestly the same reason. I'm not saying that there are no exercises that you can do with the Smith machine. What I'm saying is, in a home gym environment where space is limited, okay, I'm not going to pick something that's going to be difficult to. I'm aware of the Smith machine attachment for Power Racks. I'm not going to pick something that's going to take time for me to set up and take down, especially since I'm not the only one who uses our home gym. So that's one. And if my wife comes in and she sees that there's something in the way, she's not going to, if I'm like, if I got to work that night and I'm asleep, she's not going to wake me up to take it down. If I'm at work and she's working out in the evening, she's not going to mess around with taking that stuff down. So that means I need to dedicate the time in an already compressed schedule. I'm not going to dedicate the time to put this thing up and take it down just so I can then do 1 or 2 exercises. That being said, with the Smith machine, there is something that Brandon Curry did that I first saw. It was a mechanical drop set for triceps. So basically what you do is you start out with the bar of the Smith machine at the lowest setting, and then you do your they're basically nose crushers, right? You do them, and then as you get tired, it's very difficult to do this on anything but the Smith machine. As you get tired, you raise the level of the bar so that it becomes mechanically easier. Your leverage improves, so you're able to do it better, more easier. So you're basically burning out. So if you start at the bottom and then you get all the way to the top, you're able to go all the way up to the top. Your triceps are like, doo, 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 doo. You know, it's like you're done for the day. Okay, that's an outstanding pump. But I'm not willing to buy a Smith machine or a Smith machine attachment just so I can do that movement. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's that. Michael Vaudrey says freedom of movement equals gains. And again, you can adjust it to your specific leverages and limb lengths and everything else. They probably do. I have not been in a Life Fitness in a minute, but I know what you're talking about, Jay. I just couldn't find a picture of them. But yes, I've seen them before. I've seen them at certain gyms. Yeah, I've seen them. I know. And then Bobby says you're correct. Most home gym owners also look for multi-purpose piece of equipment that add value to their gym floor print and not limited to 1 or 2 movements. You know, those are things that are great for videos only. Now, I will say that if you're able to somehow repurpose maybe something like those lever arms that people have into doing something like this, and now you say, okay, now I can do 15 exercises with this one thing. Okay, cool. It's just, I'm not trying to get something that only does one thing. So, nah. Hey, my man, Kevin, what's up? Kevin is in Japan, for those of you who do not know. Jay, remember I told you I connected with Kevin. I don't want to say hooked up. That's different. I connected with Kevin, and he is going to be on the show next week. So next Friday, we're going to have Kevin from Home Gym Gains, and Kevin is in Japan. So it is like, I think 10 o'clock, 10:22 at night for him. So man, I appreciate you staying up with Garage Gym Life. All right. Staying up way too late with Garage Gym Life in your case, to check out the show. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm excited. He says, I can't wait to chat with you and the crew on the 24th about Home Gym Life. So I am definitely looking forward to that. If you're watching this episode, at the end of this episode, it's going to automatically redirect you to my interview with Kevin, to the next week's episode with Kevin. And I also have Mike Reed on from Micro Gains. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, man, I appreciate you stopping by. That's going to be our 1-year anniversary of this show. So I appreciate you coming on to celebrate it with me. I got lots of questions about home gyms in Japan. So I'm looking forward to it. And Jay said, hey, Kevin. And I say shout out to Jay, man, because when I had just finished finalizing everything with Kevin, and then Jay messaged me because I guess he had seen one of Kevin's videos on YouTube, and he said, hey, man, you need to see if you can get him on the show. And I was like, man, we already worked on it. He's already, say less. He's already scheduled. So I appreciate it, man. I appreciate all of you guys who reach out to me and suggest guests for me. And also, especially like Eric has actually even reached out to people and said they need to come on the show, which is even more helpful. Matt Welch has done the same thing. He's reached out to brands in England to help me out as far as doing getting them on the show. So I really appreciate all you guys and all of your support. Let's see here. All right. So I think that's enough about that. Let's go to the next item. Iron Bull Strength did an AMA. If you guys are not members of our home gym on Reddit and you like to kind of just go on a forum where you can kind of just cruise along, browse, you can lurk if you want to. That's usually what I end up doing, because I just don't have time to do much more than that. But you go on there, you can lurk. You might see your questions, random questions you have about home gyms have been answered in there. But Iron Bull, and they do AMAs. So I've done 2 AMAs with on our home gym. Flex Marks the Spot, I believe, had either just did one or has one coming up. And they're a lot of fun because what happens is a brand will go on there for a specific amount of time on a particular day, and you get somebody from that brand just answering your question. So French Sports done it, Body Solid's done it. So Scott McDonald from Body Solid, Peter from French Sport, Kayvon Bells of Steel, he's done it. And in this case, Frank, who is not the president of Iron Bull Strength, but he is high up in the he's in position. He's kind of like Bashir from Ritfit, but he's for Iron Bull. So anyway, they said something that kind of got my attention. All right, and so what this person said was what he says okay, yeah. So what he said was, I noticed. So what Frank from Iron Bull Strength said he wanted to know is, he wanted to know kind of like questions they had about Iron Bull Strength, right? And this guy, let me give him a shout out to him. His name is Dissector 2220. He said, on a side note, I noticed a lot of companies put out these great products, but offer little to no paper/virtual documentation on how to use them. It's a bit frustrating to spend thousands of dollars on a product and then have to search online to find out all the different exercises it can be used for, the proper form to use, and what muscle groups each exercise works. If I'm looking to buy something and the company shows everything it can be used for and how to use it, that's a huge plus for me. So that takes me back to when I was working in a public gym, and you'd get certain pieces of selectorized equipment, and they would have a little chart on the equipment, on the whatever it was, that shows you what muscle groups. Like Nautilus was good about that. Shows you, had like a little diagram, shows you what it worked and generally how to use it, right? So that is what he is talking about. So Iron Bull Strength said that's an excellent point, and it's something we often overlook. Said not all home gym lifters have 10 years of experience. So to address this, we recently partnered with Christian Thibodeau, a renowned international coach, to provide exactly what you're talking about. With the purchase of any equipment, we'll include a professionally designed workout program to guide you on how to use it effectively. It's all about giving you the tools and knowledge to make the most of your investment. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen there. But if you guys want to check that out, just go to our home gym on Reddit and just look in the past AMA section, and you'll be able to see that entire everything, all the questions that Iron Bull Strength was asked and answered. And then they also, I think they have some new product announcements that are going to be coming out sometime today, I think. So keep an eye out. You check them out on Instagram, Iron Bull Strength, and that way you'll be able to see what they got going on. But anyway, the reason I shared that with you guys is, do you think it's necessary for the company that makes your gym equipment to also teach you how to use it? Not just a video showing like what it does, but basically coaching you in how to use it most effectively. Is that something? Drop a comment, throw in the live chat. Is that something that would make you more likely to purchase from that company? I definitely want to know what the temperature of the room is about that, because I've been lifting since 1993. I got I took the CSCS exam in 1997. Yeah, 1997. Went to the Cooper Center for Aerobics Research in 98. Got my post-rehab certification in 98 as well. Yeah, in 98 as well. And so that's a long time. And then obviously I was training. I also was involved in martial arts at the time. And then like teaching it, because I was a Marine Corps martial arts instructor, but I also was in civilian life. I was also competing in kickboxing. And then, so that's, I say all that to say that's different kinds of exercise. I ran the training for special populations for the gym where I worked. So basically homeschool kids. I was their PE teacher. Also, we had a couple people who had they had finished rehab, and we did like post-rehab stuff to kind of like, so basically rehab kind of gets you back to normal life, but it's not necessarily going to get you back up to 100%, right? It's like what they call maximum medical improvement, whatever. So anyway, so I worked with some people like that. Anyway, what matters about that is that I've been doing this for a long time. So if I buy a piece of equipment, I don't particularly need a lot of hand holding, right? But I also understand that people who are just starting out might want help, you know? So is this something, if you're watching a replay, put a comment in the comment section and let me know if this is something that's important to you. If you are watching live, throw it in the live chat because I want to know, would that be something that you think would be helpful? And because I'd like to know. And I will say that this is not new. Bells of Steel has been offering, they've got like the couch to 500 kilogram program that you can buy. They've got some kettlebell swing programs from Mark Wildman. Kettlebell Kings offers free follow along training programs on YouTube. And while Christian Thibodeau is a high level, elite level strength coach, you probably, if you've heard of him, you know of him from his writing on T Nation. But he was like a high level weightlifting coach, Olympic style weightlifting. And then he also did some bodybuilding, and he's actually even done some CrossFit. I think he started doing it just because he wanted to see what was going on with it. But although he's got the credentials behind his name, it doesn't say that this is an individualized program. It says it's professionally designed. So it sounds to me like kind of like, oh, this is like a general guideline, like a template, and then you just kind of do it. You know what I mean? That's nice. And I guess, and it's not like they're charging you extra if you buy a piece of equipment for the unit. So it's a nice add-on. I'm just saying, I don't feel like it's giving you anything that you wouldn't get from an app. But would that be something, let's say you have a piece of equipment that's expensive, right? From a company, and you're like, oh man, that's pretty expensive compared to this, something similar from another brand. But the company with the more expensive product is giving you the template as well. Is that something, would that be enough to lean you towards the more expensive piece? That's probably a better way to phrase it. Oh, that's a good point. So Keith said, I could see that opening up to liability. Someone might claim I did it their way. I did it the way they told me, and now I'm hurt. That is a good point. Because you can put all the disclaimers you want. There's a reason, by the way, why I've never on this YouTube channel put out like guidelines, like say, hey, this is a workout for you to follow. We had a workout program that someone else did for me. My guy, David, golly, what's David's last name? I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Anyway, so David, he's a high-level powerlifting coach, and he created a workout program during COVID, and we put that on the channel. It's now I think it's in the members only section right now. So if you are a member, you're just looking for a workout, you can go ahead and check it out. But the liability, although I guess it would be partially on me, it's most of it is on David, okay? Because he's the one, he's the coach. So I do see that. But yeah, that's the reason why this is not a coaching channel. I could go back and get my CSCS again. I probably would end up having to get like the CPT instead of the CSCS. But I could go back and get recertified and then start coaching people, doing online virtual coaching. But I'm not going to do that because partially or primarily because of the liability thing. Plus, I'm not emotionally built to chase people anymore, to get them to do something that's good for them. All right, I'm just not built that way anymore, not emotionally. All right, now we only got about 25 minutes before Jake is going to be coming on, so let's move on. You guys can keep on putting the comments on there about that topic, but we're going to move on to the next segment, which is this week's comments from you. Okay, so this is where we check out all the stuff that y'all have said about me on YouTube over the past week, and in the comment section on various videos, and we kind of just see what we think about it. It's also, I started doing it because it's a good way for me to double check and make sure I haven't missed a comment. So without any further ado, we're gonna go and check out your comments. All right, there we go. All right, let me share the screen. Come on, community tab. Boom. All right, go here. All right, let's go. First comment. First one is from Hike School. Said, do you guys have a promo code or referral link for this one? And he's talking about the VISP. And the answer is no, we do not. I am taking money, and I have reached out to VISP to get them on the show because I am a big fan of their Elixir mixer. I actually used it this morning to mix up my shake before the show started. Rain Ray commented on my wife's on the YouTube short of my wife testing the Bells of Steel Blitz cycle. Pretty cool. My mom commented talking about me stretching. That's good. High School had another comment, said nice overview. Okay. This is a good comment from Jared on the unboxing. So this video is not public yet. It's going to be public on Tuesday, but our members are able to see all of our videos that our long form videos that we publish. Our members are able to watch them ahead of time. So Jared saw it and he said, what was the total time to assemble for the bike? Especially because the delivery driver, you guys may have seen the YouTube show where the delivery driver just literally dropped it in the middle of our driveway and then got out and just got out of there. All right. The FedEx driver. And so the answer is it took an hour and 15 minutes to assemble. The part that took the longest was my wife just making sure she had all the parts because the box had holes all in it. The box was really beat up. So assembly was really easy, she said, though. All right. King Smith commented, I love it when a brand that when you do, so a brand sends, so King Smith sent us a rower, right? Like they've sent to some other content creators. So they send it to us. And I love it when the brand sends the product and then you do the review and they actually comment on the video, because that tells me, number one, that they watch the video, they care about the engagement. And it also means that if someone has a question about that product that I don't know the answer to, that they're willing to come back and answer the question. That, to me, that's huge because it shows that they care about connecting with their customers. So I like that King Smith did that. Let's see here. There's a comment from Jay. So Jay thought my last workout video, I just started a new mobility app, and that I'm using the mobility work as accessories. So I do my main lift, and then the rest of it is all mobility work, right? And so it went from benching to laying on the floor. Jay said, I thought you got hurt. He said, you went from a solid bench press to rolling on the floor, but then I saw the stretching. That's it. Candy E5I said that my wife and I are so cute and she loves our videos. And this was, once again, it doesn't matter. One thing I like about YouTube is it doesn't matter how old a video is. You're going to keep on getting comments on it because it never goes away. So for those of you who are thinking about becoming a content creator, if you make a video and it doesn't get traction right away, that doesn't mean that it may not continue to get traction slowly over time. So this dead wedge video is I think it's like 2 years old. And this was a non-sponsored review. I just said, do you need a dead wedge instead of a deadlift jack, right? And, why would you think you need one? And this guy says, @Eat Rick said his weight set is alive and keeps rolling away from me. So I'm assuming I answered him. I said, do you basically use it as a stopper? All right. This is a good comment from Jim Crafter talking about the Bells of Steel plate tree that we have. And we compared it to the Marcy that we had first. And Tim from Gym Crafter said, I'm loving the Bells Tower so far, but they need to move those bolts. And what he's talking about is the bolts that hold the plate horns, okay, are are horizontal, and typically that isn't good because what's going to happen is, let's say you put a set of weight plates on the middle rack, right? On the middle weight horn. The ones above it might walk a little bit. They'll start walking towards the end of the plate horn just because they're horizontal. But if you tilt them, angle them up slightly, not a lot, just slightly, then that prevents that. And we haven't had a huge issue with that. But then again, my wife also keeps her collars on the horns. So that's also not ideal. But yeah, I agree that would be something that would be a good way to fix the problem. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Jared said he just used the Eclipse grip. Okay, I'm gonna go check that out. And that was the grip that we talked about a couple weeks ago. I'll show you guys, those who were not watching that day, I'll show you guys what that looks like in a second. But yeah, that's solid. All right, so Carp said he likes the fact that the Kingsmith WM10 trifold rower folds up. I'm telling you, the thing looks like a box, right? We actually have it in our living room right now. It looks like furniture. Okay. So I don't see anything too flagrant here. So this guy said, please stop creating more resent. 3328. Okay. Says he was referring to another older video where I was talking about the shoulder horn, which I think is a highly underrated product from Body Solid. Says if you have an extra motorcycle handlebar, turn it upside down and start doing it. Thank you for sharing. I didn't know what else to say to that, but yeah, man, however you get it done. Okay. And so one thing I'd like to say about Hike School is what I love about the fact that he's watching and he's commenting is we originally started talking because of oh yeah, we're definitely not missing that one. Because of a little exchange we had on my steel shaker bottle review from a couple of years ago. And it could have been negative, but because of how we both handled it, he's now listening to or watching our content faithfully. And so I really like that. I always think that it's cool whenever you can use, even if you don't disagree, even if you don't agree, you can use that conversation, if you're both adults about it, to basically find common ground, and then you end up with a new subscriber. So those of you who are content creators, again, I'm not telling you to just lay down and let people talk trash to you, but I am saying that the way that you treat the people who watch your videos will go a long way to making sure your channel grows and thrives if you treat people with respect, even if the way that they come at you in the beginning seems out of pocket. Okay. Johnny Lawrence, for example, says you need to do way more cardio. You know what? What am I supposed to say, man? My stomach is out where I don't want it to be. It has gotten smaller because I'm on the journey, but Johnny Lawrence doesn't know that. All he knows is this is a fitness channel. Why do you look this way? And I said, hey, it's a work in progress. So that's something else for content creators. If you're going to put yourself out there, you got to be ready for the fact that people don't know you. They don't know your background. They don't know anything about you. And you got to be ready to have a thick skin if they come at you, you know? So, and then we got, Jay said he likes how we did the review because, is that, so there we go. And let's see. Oh, comments there we go. Now we're in the held comment section. Comments that may be offensive have been hidden. We're going to show the hidden comments. All right. Hide the kids. Show the hidden comments. Okay. So this person said something that definitely should, he's talking about sex products, right? Said this Bells of Steel product is not a lat pull down. He decided that that's where he's going to use up his precious time to post that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hide the user from the channel. And there you go. We'll never see his stuff again. So that's what happens when you do that. All right. All right. So, all right. All right. So let's go back to the Eclipse grip because I think you guys need to see it. Oh, Carp, you sent me an attachment. Oh, Hold up a second. I see he's got his best gym in town cup. I thought you broke that thing. It looks like you got active with the Gorilla Glue. So, hey, I appreciate that. And let's see here. And okay, I'll come back to that. All right, Eclipse Grip. Porter Phys Ed. That's where we're going. Browse our latest products. You guys are going to browse them with me. And present, share screen. Running out of time. Make sure we get this done. All right, so this is the Eclipse Grip. If you guys haven't seen it, they are on sale right now, $75 US. If you order right now, it's going to ship within 1 to 2 weeks. And I think that this is, well, Jared just told you guys that he got his and he loves it. I like this because it is a single handle. You can use it for a lot of different things, and it's going to give you a different feel, which is, to Bobby's point from earlier, it's going to give you a some training variety. Sometimes you get bored with doing the same exercise the same way. So if you can come up with a little bit of a tweak that improves, it doesn't take away from the effectiveness of the exercise, but gives you a slightly different stimulus and keeps it fun, I am 100% on board with that. So yeah, I like that. So you guys can, I tell you what, I will drop that link right there. Let me stop sharing, but the link is right here in the live chat, so you guys can order it yourselves, and then I will put that in the video description as well. Now let's catch up with the comment section, see what you guys have said. Carp said, collars on the weight horns are a good idea if you have extra collars, especially if you have little curious kids who want to climb on stuff. Man, I have got a box of spring collars that ain't doing nothing. I literally, if I sell something to somebody, I give them a pair of spring collars. Like, here you go. Thanks for your thanks for your business. You know, he says collar. Yeah, I know what you mean. Collars on weight horns. Yeah, man. So we got plenty of collars, plenty of them. Jonathan said, "Is Lawrence living in his mom's basement?" I mean, I don't know, because here's the thing. Just because he said I need to do more cardio doesn't look like he doesn't look like 200 pounds of chewed bubble gum either now. Okay, so let's get that straight. I'm aware of that. But for me, it's more like, it's not like I haven't ever been in shape, but I can't ask Jonathan to go. I'm not Jonathan. I can't ask Lawrence or whatever, him to go back and I don't forgot his name already. Let me go look. What's this clown's name? I mean, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. What is this person's name? Let me scroll down. It says you need to do more cardio. Where you at? Show yourself. Johnny Lawrence. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I can't expect Johnny Lawrence to go and look back at all of my old videos and say, oh, he was in shape. Something must have happened. Nobody's going to do that, okay? So what I can do is just say, okay, you know what? I just use that as motivation to stay with it and keep on working. The end. All right. Kurt said it's probably a bot. I mean, it could be. Look, here's the thing. You notice I didn't delete his comment. I only get rid of stuff that's out of pocket like that other weirdo. Because, and again, that's another thing, for content creators. You got to have a thick skin. If you put yourself out there in front of people, you got to prepare yourself for things to happen and people to say things that aren't always going to be the kindest thing. But so you got to have a thick skin, but also recognize that if they comment on your video, that is engagement. And that's going to make your channel grow. So they can't hurt you unless you let them. All right. Carbs Gyms said, I love when a new subscriber finds your backlog and runs all the way through it. Man, I love that. Because, let me see something here. How many videos do I have? Just videos alone. We have on the channel, and we've actually deleted quite a number. We have 442 videos, long form videos on my channel right now. We've got those are uploads, and we have 93 live streams. And I don't even want to go into YouTube Shorts. That's just, there's a ton of those. So if somebody were to go back and watch, that's, Don't tell me you got nothing to watch on the treadmill, because you can just be on my channel and you've got 442 videos of varying lengths, averaging 20 minutes per video. That'll get you through it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I really love that. And as Kurt points out, he said, Carp, that definitely helps the watch time metric. He said, I definitely don't pull up my channel every time I go to an electronics store and play my playlist on their devices on display. That is an elite tip. I'm not telling you I'm going to do it, but I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. Okay. Hold up here. Yeah, hey, Carb said, yeah, I like it. He said, Kurt, that's a good hack. I'm going to start playing everybody's backlog in the background while I'm doing other stuff in the gym. So I'll tell you this. If I'm on the treadmill, that's when I normally will watch you guys' stuff. But sometimes I'm just like, hey, just because I watch something, if it's somebody who I really support, I'm going to want to, click the thumbs up at least and put some sort of comment on it, right? But if I'm struggling, like time is tight and I just want to support you a little bit, look, I will turn on your playlist. That's an advantage of having a playlist, kids. Have a playlist. I go onto your playlist, go to the oldest video, right? And just play it and then go to sleep. And I just let it play while I go to sleep. Now, you're not going to get the entire thing because at some point my TV will time out from being on. But yeah, I do what I don't mind, man. I love helping you guys out with and then of course sometimes, and like I said, if I'm actually watching it, I'm on the treadmill watching it. But yeah. And Eric said he doesn't realize you're almost a senior citizen as well, though. Well, you know what? Hold on. So I'm already getting stuff from AARP. Because for those of you who don't know, I'm 51 years old. I'll be 52 in August of this year. So I guess, yeah, I'm technically not a senior citizen. I guess you got to be, what? Now you got me wondering, let's ask Google, what qualifies as a senior citizen? All right, let's find out. What age do you have to be? Okay. So technically I got to be 65. So I'm a little less than 15 years away. Okay. Free breakfast at Denny's. Something to look forward to. And Kurt said, you don't need to correct yourself for calling someone a clown. Calling someone a clown is already heavily edited. Yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, man, I try to be nice. And I'll say this too, man. Remember earlier when I said I used to fight? I was kickboxing. You kind of get to the point where, you learn how to talk trash. Okay? Because believe it or not, you're talking trash even during the fight, to the point where you can get a point taken, especially in the amateurs. I was fighting in the amateurs. I never turned pro. You can get a point taken in the amateurs if you talk too much junk, right? But leading up to the fight, you say things to each other, and I don't mind joning on somebody, right? But I also want to make sure that I'm not doing something, as I said, somebody else hears me refer to someone like that, and they don't know the parameters of it, all the backstory or whatever, and that could affect how they view the channel, because they may not see it as somewhere they want to hang out, because like I don't particularly want negativity, which is one reason why I do the interviews in the morning on this show the way I do them. I want to create a positive environment. So, and let's see, let's run through this about being fat and stuff on my content. So apparently somebody went on there and said about being fat and stuff on my content. I was like, dude, did you read the bio? It says, this is for us. This is a channel for bigger folks, where everyone is welcome if you have something to contribute. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, you got to understand. And here's the thing. I remember there used to be this stigma that if you're a home gym owner, that you don't work out, you just buy the stuff and you hang laundry on it. But look, I told you, my first job out of college was at a public gym. I saw people come in there I worked there for 5 years. I saw people come in there year after year and look the exact same, and in some cases get worse. Okay. So it's not a home gym thing, but I just say, I think that if you're going to have a channel, you need to look at the demographics of who you're trying to attract, and understand that you're going to probably attract people who are like you. And I love the fact that my channel is set up so that people who are not like, I mean, we have guests who come on who are in great shape, you know, like my man Garage Gym Homie has been on here. He's in obviously phenomenal shape. But I'm just saying that the channel is supposed to be welcoming to people who are not in tip-top shape because we're all on a fitness journey together, right? So there you go. And Kurt said almost 100% of my YouTube time is in the gym. I usually comment multiple times because I'll comment on what I heard in between sets. Yeah, so my thing with YouTube is it's not 100% in the gym because I don't necessarily listen to it a lot of times if I'm walking, and I'm not always walking on a treadmill. So I walk sometimes outside. I walk sometimes at work, you know. So, yeah, there you go. And then if I'm driving to work, I usually have YouTube on because I have YouTube Premium. So I don't have to have the video up. I can close it and still be able to use like my or if I'm driving somewhere, we're going out of town or whatever, I don't have to have I can use my GPS because of YouTube Premium. So yeah. So Jay said I bought that spin bike because I've seen you on it. If you were 5'6", 135, probably would have kept shopping around. Oh yeah, there you go. So that exactly. So it's like that shows it right there. Your channel, you're going to attract people. Like you have to have a channel that people can feel like they identify with. So I'm grateful for the fact that I'm in this space because when I get back in shape, I was in shape. I got out of shape. When I'm back in shape, somebody comes on here and says I don't understand what they're going through. I can say, oh yeah, well watch these videos. I do. Okay. And Eric said, I used to get the senior citizen discount back in the day when he's 55. My wife will be 52 in August as well. Hey, never can have too many Leos, man. Or Eric said, I would have said cardio is the problem. I've been running to the buffet too much. You know, to be honest with you, man, I really don't. This is a complete tangent, but some of it is food. Like I'm not really into sweets, but a lot of it was just consistency with activity level. And then just saying, hey, ab work is important and starting to do it. So but I'll also say, though, it took me 2 years to get out of shape. And I'm not the kind of person that thinks that I should just do one of those. I've done the 3-month get in shape things, but there's too much tendency to rebound when you do that. And so I'm taking my time to lose the weight because I think it'll stay off that way. And Kurt said carb competes in strongman, so screw abs. Let's see here. Kurt says haters gonna hate. Cute little clowns gonna trip over their big floppy shoes and hate. And Jay said you need to work on getting 600 haters. Hey, look, I'll be honest with you. If I had 600 people who hated me and showed up faithfully to talk trash on every video, I'd be like, okay, cool, great. I'm glad to have y'all here. You know, have at it. Let's do it. Come on down. Welcome. Heck, I'll let them know. Hey, I got another video coming out about the same time next week. You can hate on that one too. All right. So it is now 7:58. And let's see. Let's go ahead and start closing this stuff out. We got, I did see Doug, if you're watching right now, I saw what you DM'd me, and I will answer that DM as soon as the show is over. Okay. I'll do that right after that. All right. Then, but meanwhile, let me go. I got my guy Jake is going to be coming on here in a second. I see him backstage, but I got to pull something up from here. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. All right. So Jake is backstage right now. Looks like Rory, what's up, man? Hey, I already responded to your comment with the video. I will what I was thinking about doing though is if your video is posted on YouTube, on your YouTube channel, I'll do like a remix and see if I can upload my video response as connected to that. If not, what I'll do is I'll upload it and then I'll see if YouTube will let me connect my video when I upload it to yours, because mine is like 2 minutes long. But we can talk later on to just that way we connect both videos. That way people can see them. We can try that. All right. Let's see here. Carp said work is starting. Hey man, you have a good day. I look forward to seeing you in the replay game, my man. Peace out. Thanks for being here as usual. All right, it is 7:59. That is close enough for me. So we are going to say shout out to the Mountain Time Zone, all of you in Colorado and places way above sea level. Thank you for waking up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit subscribe, help me reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers. That is the easiest way to support this channel if you like the content that we are putting out here. And I think that you will. If this is your first time on the show, then just go ahead, click like. You don't have to subscribe. Just start watching. And I promise you, you're going to want to subscribe after you do that. We got about 879 of you watching right now. So obviously you like it. We've been at roughly 800. We've been over the 800 mark for the last 2 hours. So I know you guys are liking what you're seeing. So come on now. What you waiting for? Hit the like button. It's completely free, but it means the world. It goes a long way to helping the channel grow and making sure that YouTube continues to recommend this show to more people. So do that for me. It's completely free. All right. Let's see here. I'm not even touching those 2 comments that I just saw from Rory and Kurt. All I'm going to say is I'm not saying anything. Let's just say that. I'm leaving it completely alone. All right. So that one more thing, if you guys are looking for a high quality way to invest, be sure to check out ion.com. I think that those are the best way to invest on the market. My uncle got one and everybody in the family is laughing at him because he refuses to take the thing off. It becomes part of your body. So it's a good way to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of your non-exercise physical activity, meaning you put it on and you wear it around the house while you're doing chores. You put it on, wear it if you're going to the grocery store. It doesn't look crazy, so you don't look like you're about to have, stage like a SWAT assault on the building at the grocery store. You're going to look completely normal. You can wear it at work, and it just increases the metabolic cost of everything you're doing. And so I love it for that. If you decide to go to ion.com to get one of the high quality way to invest, use code GarageGymLife at checkout so you can save 10% and you also be supporting this channel. All right, Jake, are you ready? Boom, got the thumbs up. All right, so everybody get ready. We got one guest today, and it is Jake. So get ready. Show your love for my guy, Jake Jaworski. And the crowd goes wild.
Thank you.
Everybody can't stop it. Sit down. It's gonna be here for an hour. Relax. Y'all are out of control, man. Tell your fans to control themselves. All right.
I know it's tough.
I know. I don't even know how you go to the grocery store, to be honest with you. gotta be a problem. All right. So man, I got did you see the list of questions I sent you?
Yes. I'm ready for anything though.
Oh, there we go. Look at that. Okay. Jake sleeps standing up. He's ready. Okay. So let's just jump right into it, man, because we got people, people been waiting since the show started to hear from you. We're about 6 months away from HomeGymCon 2025. And well, we're under 6 months away actually, because it's in June. I've been seeing you posting a bunch of exciting developments on Instagram. I've got your newsletter coming. Yes, we already knew that there's going to be a new venue. So we're in Louisville. You're going to have more competitions than we've ever had. And there's a dramatic increase in the number of companies that are attending. So with all that being said, what is the thing that, if you could put your finger on one thing that has you the most excited for HomeGymCon 2025, what would be that thing?
I think just how different it's going to look, and just this size. I'm just excited to see what it looks like. It's really hard to, as you're putting this map together. But I think what I'm personally most excited for is just to see it, like what it looks like on Friday morning once everybody is set up. And I think it's going to be awesome because we kept kind of like the same. Kept a lot. It's a lot larger, but we kept a lot of the same themes in place, where it's like 95% gym equipment companies as opposed to a lot of the other shows that have a good mix of just random booths. And then I think what I'm most excited for, really, though, other than that, is just everybody to get together again, and also just knowing how many people who, you know, maybe watched on the sidelines last year through social media get to experience it for the first time. I think that, like, seeing people see it for the first time is usually what I get the joy out of, and seeing other people connect as well.
All right, so I've got the banner going across the bottom. Is that still the way to subscribe to the newsletter? Thebeehive.com.
Yeah, that looks like the right link. Yep.
Okay. All right. So we already have our first question in there. I'll leave that up for a little bit while we answer this question. First of all, we got a celebrity. My guy Jameson. What's up, man? Jameson. Jameson is the Bridge Built MVP. Okay, but he will also help out. I can personally attest to Jameson taking his time and helping us out in terms of setting stuff up. Jared Friedman as well, but Jameson was the pioneer. That dude is so giving of his time. So yeah, that's the MVP right there. Unsung hero, definitely.
So let me cut you off there. Jameson actually, you know, he stepped up so big the last few years, just randomly. I actually didn't even really know. Jameson, I don't think I knew you before the show. Even in 2023, and you just came and you were a huge help. Jameson has an official role as like the head volunteer. So he you know, he's going to be there a little early. He's going to be there to help all of the vendors set up, and you know, we're still kind of finalizing some deals, or not deals, but like the details as far as like what that's going to look like. But he's you know, he's part of the crew. Like, not that he wasn't before, but he's in it.
That better come with an embroidered hoodie. Volunteer, like all across the chest, just like
good idea.
There you go. Actually, that would really, I was joking, but actually having like stuff with like some sort of so people can tell who to ask a question. You know what I mean? I think that might actually be a good idea. First question for you is from Jay. He said, is HomeGymCon ever coming west? San Diego Convention Center, maybe.
Yeah. So the top question I get from people who aren't attending.
Are you ever gonna put it closer to me?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm never going to say no. Right now, just taking it a year at a time, and I most likely it'll. I mean, it wouldn't be for at least several to many years before it would go out west. I think a lot of that is
less cost.
Less, yeah. It's way more expensive out there, and you know, most of these companies are out here in the Midwest, and also just even on the East Coast. So, for like, especially thinking about, you know, the smaller Made in America companies coming from Iowa and Ohio and Tennessee, I think who were really like the heart of this show, year one, year two,
surplus strength. Yeah.
Companies like those, you know, I would never want to leave them hanging and move it out west, or not. You know, I would want to get their feedback, and I would want to make sure it's large enough. You know, I would want it to be a guarantee, like you're gonna do well at the show, which I think it would, but I don't think a lot of those companies are ready to, you know, do the airport, and a lot of the costs do come with the shipping, and for like, I would say about half to more of the companies, they drive in. So they're not going to be able to drive to San Diego.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was going to say. It's like, it's not like they're bringing supplement packets, right? They're bringing like power racks. So I know that, you know, you've never attended one, Jay, but when you go to HomeGymCon, there's like, so let's say there are at least 70 power racks that were all built by these companies in this one room, right? So think about how heavy a power rack is. And then they've got all the other equipment that they choose to bring that's out of their inventory. So it's a lot of stuff that they would be bringing, even if they decide, okay, well, we're going to ship all of this stuff to this one location. It still is like a thing. Now, granted, they do it. So you have companies that do like the LA Fit Expo, for example. But what you won't see at the LA Fit Expo are companies like Surplus Strength that have a great product, but they don't have kind of like they're not quite on the radar. On the other hand, I guess that would be an opportunity for some of the more California-based companies that might, so like American Barbell, that just popped in my head. Trying to think who else that might be out there. I was going to say RitFit, but they're going to be at HomeGymCon. But yeah, there's some smaller companies that are California-based that may not be willing to make the trek out to Louisville, and it may be worth it at some point. I guess just depending on what the cost is. Rory wants to know what ticket. Nope, I'm sorry. Eric wants to know what ticket sales look like this year compared to last year.
Yeah, so it's so first of all, like 75 to 80% of the sales do come like the last 30 to 60 days before the event. So most people aren't buying them early. So it's impossible to say exactly, but they're about 4 times more than last year, 4 to 5 times, I want to say. Yeah. And that again, that could fluctuate. It's still like the data is going to be totally different this year, moving to a bigger city.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, happy with the ticket sales so far, for sure.
Jameson said he wants a t-shirt because it's summer. Look, I barely restrain myself from recommending body paint. Okay. I'm just saying. So, but yeah.
So I have made a decision on t-shirts. So,
okay.
Still finalizing a few small details with the premium ticket, or kind of a premium upgrade. But the only people that we're not, like, I and the team are not going to be selling t-shirts at the event. We're going to let the apparel companies create their own with the unique HomeGymCon brand. The only ones that we're going to be supplying is for those premium ticket purchasers.
Okay. So my question about that is did I already say this to you? I don't know. Where I said it'd be cool if it was like a concert tee.
What's a concert tee?
So it's a t-shirt that you
like with the on the back with the
it's like you go like I'm trying to see like whether it's like it's on the back or the front, but it's like it's just like the whatever world tour,
So in year 1, 2023, there were like 30 vendors, right? So the back of the t-shirt has all of the brands on there. If you got one of those,
I've got the year 1 shirt. That's one of my
the issue is like 5 of the companies backed out like the week of, and there's like 5 logos that don't really belong on there.
I got you. Well, no, I was talking about more like, I was thinking more like the location. Necessarily. So it's like HomeGymCon and then the location, and then it's like, I think that's kind of cool.
I'll have to look into that. That might be cool.
Let's see here. And Kurt says so many Ohio companies, and Rory said he's going to bring some stuff for us to throw in the trash. And he said Tennessee Volunteers merch. I was like, yeah, what are we talking about? Don't wear that. Just throw it in the trash. Didn't you guys have an injury to one of your top like receivers or something like that? Yeah, Tennessee, y'all just need prayer over there. I'm a Georgia fan, so there you go. And just see, Jay said that Rep Fitness is out there. I thought they were in Colorado. Well, I mean, it's still technically sort of like the West Coast too. Okay. All right. Now, next question is, are there any brands that have signed up that surprised you or that might surprise attendees?
Yeah. So I think, I put that in a couple of buckets. For me, the surprising companies have been, for the first few years, I would say most of the companies were those that I had been in contact with at least a little bit, based off of like the 7 years of doing home gym stuff. So I think I get surprised when somebody signs up that I've never, done anything with. I could give you like 20 companies there. But I think, we have 9 countries. So that is crazy to me, very shocking. So I think, I give a lot of credit to like those companies that were there first year because, they kind of saved this event, just, showing support year 1. But I think ATX coming in year 2 was also very important because it showed like what you can get out of it, like digitally as well, because there's a lot of like potential digital exposure through Instagram and YouTube, just with the amount of content creators that are there. So word can spread fast just from you being at this event. So I think, Lacertosis coming from Italy. That's very surprising.
Yeah.
Lacertosis, there's a company coming from Ecuador. There's a company coming from Japan. There's a few coming from China. Mayak, Maiak, they have a really cool pulley system. They're also coming from Europe. So those are surprising. Let's see.
You think that's because like it felt like ATX kind of broke the seal and
Absolutely.
showed, hey, this is possible. And then they saw, like, I would assume that they saw like what the reaction to this stuff was. And it's like, oh, shoot, okay, this is an opportunity to, kind of jump into the US market a little bit because these people actually like our stuff. Because I know people were buying the ATX stuff right there. Like, they're like, you don't have to take this back to Germany with you. We'll take it off your hands right now. So I think that is an obviously there are probably some hurdles they have to go through in terms of like getting stuff through customs and everything else. But once you got it in the country, man, it's a huge opportunity. So this, hang on a second. So Eric said helpers and event judges and workers should have a special T-shirt so people know who, if they need some info or help. That's what I was trying to say. So yeah,
we can do that. We can do that.
I see. Jay said the rep showroom is in Moreno Valley. Yeah, I'm talking about their headquarters is in Colorado. I thought, but yeah. Anyway, Jameson also want to know, have more companies sign up for online HomeGymCon equipment sales, which is not the same thing. I sort of the same thing as what I was going to ask you about the pre-orders. And he said, I'm biased via being the Bandbox co-innovator with Executive Fit. So let me leave this up here. So I did ask you that because you've got a page. If I can go to this page right here on the HomeGymCon website. And every time I go to HomeGymCon, it always it defaults to the Beehive sign up page. Okay, but there we go. All right, so for sale. So where's this thing? I know you've got the page.
Yes.
I just saw it.
So there is a page. It's what's it called? It's like for sale at booths.
Yeah, I just found it.
So
it's like the take home rare. So go ahead.
Take home at booths. So yeah. So one thing that we discovered the first few years, I hadn't really had any convention experience.
Right.
Was that the people coming, they really want to buy. They have a buyer's mindset. Especially at a discount, if you can take home a deal, most people really like it. Or, there's plenty of people bring like one-of-a-kind pieces to the show. Yeah. In addition, there are it's a lot of work, not only to bring all of this stuff there, but it's also a lot of work to pack it up and leave. So if you can make their trip home easier, the vendors or exhibitors trip home easier, I think they'd be willing to give their equipment at a pretty good discount. So basically what I'm trying to do is help facilitate, and I will also add, so basically the last 2 hours of the show, you basically see a lot of people running around like trying to find deals, and exhibitors say, hey, we got this at our booth for sale for 50% off. Yeah. And I'm basically trying to facilitate that beforehand. So there is a take home from booths page on the website. It is very bare right now, but once companies start figuring out what they're going to bring, I will add that to this page, notify everyone in the newsletter you mentioned. Also, there's a Discord channel so that people know what is available. I'll also, link it on Instagram and other socials so that people are aware. Right. But basically, hopefully in a few months, there's at least a few dozen products, and then closer to time, there will be hundreds of products here. That is the goal. I don't know. You have to make sure that the companies kind of take this seriously and are like, what's the word? They're a step ahead. So they're thinking ahead. Yeah, proactive. And they're proactive on this. If not, then this is going to be difficult. But I think there's massive potential here for people to get pre-orders, to that'll also help them bring some extra stuff so that they can sell, and then to help fund the trip, make it worthwhile. People save money, and it eliminates a lot of that like last minute craziness. And it's also a differentiator for HomeGymCon because there's definitely no other conventions doing this.
So you're not going to Ursa and buying stuff and taking it home, or whatever. Here's the thing. So I'm going to shout out Black Widow, because in year one, Dean had somebody who bought some stuff from him, and they were coming to pick it up. But then he also, in year two, he had people pre-order stuff, and he's like, yeah. And he actually said, hey, if you're going to order from me and you want me to pick up stuff at HomeGymCon, this is your deadline, right? So, but it was like on his Instagram, and you go to his website and place the order. I think that once vendors realize, and I know you said calling them vendors, but I don't know what else to call them. Exhibitors. Let's call them exhibitors. Once exhibitors realize that this is a great way to potentially pay for their trip, I think that they'll start jumping on it. Because let's say somebody like Mike Reed, I did that with him for microgains, right? That's where I got my first set of microgains plates. So he could easily carry several boxes of microgains plates with him and have enough to pay for the trip, plus have a few more on hand for people who just want to buy, in the moment, right? And so I think that that's not only is it a great way to do it, it also removes any possibility that there may be a glitch with your sales software, like the Square or whatever. If somebody wants to buy it right then and there, and then you have the problem like, oh, well, the Square is not taking my card. You don't have to worry about any of that. They've already paid for it. Show up with your name. Here you go. Done. Simple. You know what I mean? I think that this is the kind of thing that can actually drive the sales. And with those companies from Europe, that's where I think the biggest savings potentially is. So I was talking about Watson dumbbells earlier. And if Watson was going to be at HomeGymCon, I wish they were, but if they're going to be at HomeGymCon, imagine how I'm saving on dumbbells. If I say, hey, look, I'll buy them from you. Let me order now. You bring them over, and those are my dumbbells. I just take them home. You know what I mean? That's definitely got to be cheaper than buying dumbbells and having them shipped to me all the way over from England. So I think that's a potential for growth right there as well. So we got a bunch of people agreeing with that. Jay said fishing and boat shows are the same way. I mean, even Arnold is like that. They take all these supplements there, and then on the last day, they're giving them away to you because they don't want to have to take all this stuff back. So, yeah. Jameson has a plan to push around a cart to hand out bottles of water. I plan to take a bottle of water from you, Jameson. All right. So this may be a better question for everybody in the live chat, but since you guys run surveys all the time, I'm going to ask you as well. Which brands do people seem to be the most excited now that they've seen anybody who follows HomeGymCon on Instagram, and if you're not, you should be. You've seen the graphic showing how all the vendors who are going to be coming. So as far as you know, and just the growth is insane from 2023 to 2025. As far as you know, though, how which brand are people the most excited about seeing at HomeGymCon 2025?
It's tough to say. I see a lot of people excited about ATX. Like, people really love ATX. I think what I see is most of the larger brands. So people are excited to see Rogue and Rep, Black Widow. Like, a lot of people who've been there, they've formed relationships with these companies as well. So it's I see the energy there.
Right.
I'll just say, like, I'm excited to see like what does Lacertosis equipment look like next to Rogues, or what products are going to be released. Like, Temple of Gains has let me know that he's going to release several products, and he has one item he's really, really excited to showcase and wants to make it the showcase of his booth. I think so there's items like that are like, I want to see just something spectacular, and I want to see cool stuff. And then there's also, I see a lot of like really people with a really practical mindset, like, hey, I want to try the AB 4100 before I buy it at HomeGymCon. Like, I see comments like that in Discord. I think one thing I've been surprised is seeing comments like that like 10 months out. They're like, I want to try this basic product, even though there's a bunch of other reviews out there online. Like, I want to try the Iron Master bench. Like, literally things that there are tons of reviews, they are waiting 10 months to try out at HomeGymCon before they're going to pull the trigger. So just like the true practicality mindset is something that I've been a little bit surprised at. And I think it's really cool. Like, you preach like, you get to try before you buy, but actually seeing people with that mindset is cool.
Yeah. So I'll say, first of all, if you've already got something, so let's say I already have a bench, and this would be an upgrade. It's not I need a bench right now. Then I can see waiting, because you're like, I want to make sure that this bench feels the way I want it to feel. Because I also can picture somebody buying a bench, then they get to HomeGymCon, and you try this bench, you try that bench. I mean, there's like 75 benches in the room. And then you try one, you're like, man, I just bought a bench too. So now you're like, oh, I wish I had waited. So old people like me are like, yeah, I'll just wait until I get there before I try it, to see if, see definitely which one I like. I also say about Rogue, specifically, I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle HomeGymCon this year, since there was a little bit of negative backlash on them for how they handled the content creators. I want to see like what they do in terms of their booth, and I imagine that they would have been able to sell a ton of stuff. I don't know if they were selling stuff there, but I don't think so. I imagine that they would have been able to sell a lot of stuff, because you've got a lot of people who are fans of Rogue products. Heck, I've got some Rogue products supposed to be delivered today, actually, that I just ordered for my wife. So I can imagine that if they approach it the right way, that they'll be able to make it very worthwhile for themselves that day. And then Eric has a good point. So let me go ahead and stop that. Eric said, I'm hoping flippers don't come and wipe out the inventory to take stuff home and sell it for a profit. I haven't really seen that like on Facebook Marketplace. But I mean, obviously, the stuff on Facebook Marketplace is coming from somewhere. You got it somehow. So I guess that might be a potential thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, I think the discounts are going to be good, but I don't think they're going to be like 60% off to where you can go grab it and flip a bunch of stuff, or it might not be worth your time. So, I mean, we'll see, but I imagine there won't. And I mean, honestly, whatever helps the companies. I don't want to say flippers, but I've also thought about the idea of like resellers coming and buying stuff. You know, there are like super equipment stores or Play It Again Sports. Like, I don't think I would be mad at companies.
No, like if
Ashton
from Freedom Fitness, if he did that, I mean, then actually that kind of in a way helps people out, because it's going to be less expensive for him to ship something than for me to ship it. So let's say it's a big piece that I couldn't easily fit in a trailer, for example, or whatever, right? I've used Ashton's stuff. He's delivered stuff to my house, and he's got a really good shipping service that's not super expensive. So I can also see that being an advantage as well. And he does ship to the West Coast, Jay. So that'd be right up your alley. What do you think has been the effect? I know you're limiting the crowd size, right? And that sounds negative in a way, but you basically said you don't want to have a bunch of walk-up traffic from people who are just kind of like not even really interested. They're just walking in to see what's going on, because you want to preserve the quality of the event for the sake of the exhibitors as well as for the people who are going there. The whole point of it is that you're around people who get our lifestyle, right? They're part of our community. So what do you think the effect has been on crowd size, though, from all of the content that we release? You know, we got the vlogs, we've got the product reveals, the interviews, the posts on Instagram and all that. How has that, from 2023 to 2024, how did that affect what do you think the crowd size is going to be for attendees in 2025?
I think the content that has been created has been like the number one reason this has grown. Absolutely. I mean, it wouldn't have grown if it wasn't like a good service or beneficial, but the fact that it combined with so much word of mouth, either via one-on-one word of mouth or content creation, I think it exponentially grew this thing. And it created a lot of FOMO. And I think the FOMO is, if you're sitting at home and you're seeing that like HomeGymCon take over your Instagram feed for 2 weeks, you want to be there the next year. I think the same thing happened with companies signing up. They follow these people. They saw HomeGymCon all weekend and for the next couple weeks. And I think they just decided, I should get there next year. So the content has been great, and I think it's a win-win for everybody. So it's like just the fact that everybody gets here is all in one place. It's easy for content creators to create. Like, if you really wanted to, you could create a month's worth of content, which is really difficult to do when just gathering equipment one by one. It's also stuff that people are interested in, and I only think it's going to increase with like product releases at HomeGymCon and more people to talk with at HomeGymCon. You get to talk with people from other countries. So like there's just a massive amount of like a win-win for everybody. And I do think and I don't want to get too preachy, but I do think that it's also, a great way to grow the home gym industry in general.
Yeah.
So, I mentioned we want a quality crowd, but we also want to show people how amazing a home gym can be.
Yeah.
So yes, the content created by all has been very helpful.
I think one of the coolest things that you did was you provided a room for all of us. If you like, hey, if you want to do a podcast or anything like that, you can do it here. And I know that you had like some speakers scheduled that first year. And so you recorded that so then, people who weren't around could actually watch those presentations. But I think just the fact that I was able, I committed to, when I started doing this show live, I said, I'm going to do this every Friday. We're going to do it every Friday for a year and see if this thing grows. If it crashes and burns, okay, fine. But I'll put in 52 weeks at this, right? Which meant I'm at HomeGymCon. I got to figure out a way to do the show, right? And until you told me that we were going to be able to do it from there, I was fully prepared to have to do it in my hotel room, right? Which would have been an experience. But I think that the fact that you provide this room, so Massonomics came on, like right after I finished my live, Massonomics came on right behind me and they did their podcast, right? I don't think theirs was live. I think they recorded it. But still, the fact is they were able to do it from right there. Rob was able to do a couple episodes of Home Gym history from there as well. And so that's additional content too. It's not necessarily visual content, but it's podcasts that are, hey, we're broadcasting from HomeGymCon, kind of, and it just kind of gets it out there. And I think that's part of it as well. So I think that's it's an unsung way that is kind of getting HomeGymCon kind of out there. And I've had vendors, I've had brand owners who didn't go to HomeGymCon reach out to me like, man, I feel like, like I was coming back from last year and they said, I had a guy call me. Actually, I had multiple people call me. Hey, you're on your way back. I was like, yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't call me before I missed my turn to my exit. It turned into the marathon drive. I was like, God. But the fact that they were calling and say, hey, is that thing over? Yeah, well, how'd it go? And they're like, I feel like I'm missing out by not being there. And I'm like, you are. You need to go. You need to go. Even if you just do what Peter Keller did from French Sport. He just attended the first year. Even if that's all you do, go there and see if it makes sense for your brand. So, yeah. Go ahead. I'm just looking at what
I for any brands who are considering and are doubtful or like they just are not quite ready. First of all, I would say just do it anyways. Just get a 10x10 booth and meet the community. But if you're not willing to do that, go. I've talked to a few brands who they say they're not ready to go, but they're going to come check it out. And I do think if you want to be, this is going to happen every year. It's going to continue to build. It's going to be, it's really going to be, I think, something special for this industry and community. And I would say check it out, and it'll at least help you like figure out your strategy. I think like you mentioned Rogue, what Rogue did. I think I'm going to take a guess and say they learned a lot, and it requires a little bit of a different vibe than some of the other trade shows. It is really a unique, and I use the term high value crowd.
Yeah.
And
a knowledgeable crowd.
Educated, yes, a knowledgeable crowd. It's a different crowd that I think you can get just as much actually more value from talking to them, seeing them with your products than like what you're going to sell at the show. I think that is the case. And I agree 100%. I think that is why we've seen the returning vendors at such a high rate.
So we got over 1,000 viewers, but only 280 likes. Home Gym Physique wants me to ban you if you don't like the stream. All right, I'm not ready to do that yet, But yes, please click the like button, click thumbs up. Y'all so aggressive.
Harsh.
I say the thing. So this is just my educated guess based upon zero information. I have zero inside information. My educated guess, though, is that what Rogue did is they just hired people to man their booth that day. Because if you go to like the Arnold, you could pretty much set up a pull-up bar and have anybody there, and people walk by and say, hey, how many pull-ups can you do? And they do pull-ups, and then you're done, right? Okay, there's not really the level of emotional investment and interpersonal interaction required at the Arnold or somewhere else like you have at HomeGymCon. At HomeGymCon, people are going to walk up and say, hey, I've been looking at this on your website. When is it coming out? By the way, I've got a question about it. Does it have this? What about the knurling on that? And they're like going down the rabbit hole. And all of a sudden, the people are like, oh, whoa. I don't, you can only say, I don't know, 2 or 3 times before people are like, okay, and they walk away, right? And so, yeah, you definitely need to put enough of an investment in it to have someone knowledgeable about the products and comfortable with interacting with people at your booth. Like what Body Solid did. They brought along the guy that helps design their stuff, and he was there answering questions all day, every day that they were there. And I think that did wonders for them, because I had a lot of people. Tim from Gym Crafter, for example, told me that he always looked at Body Solid as a low budget, low quality brand. And I said, dude, you do not know what you're talking about in this situation. He was like, no, we used to sell Body Solid stuff at this place where I worked. I was like, okay. I said, just trust me. We get there. I took him over to the Body Solid booth, and he started checking their stuff. He said, oh, wow, I was wrong. And he was able to interact with them. Since then, he's actually gone to their showroom, had a lot of conversations with them. And I think that a big reason for that change in attitude was the fact that they had someone there who would explain the why behind the products and demo the products and all that. And I think that every brand that has done that, I think, was well served because of doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I would want to stick up for Rogue. I think, they were given some high level direction and they stuck with it. They had a beautiful booth. It was spectacular.
Nice. It was very attractive.
They put a massive amount of work into it. And I'm guessing and that's what I mentioned. I think they probably learned I think people are more interested in seeing, checking out the Rhino versus seeing how thick of steel they can get for the pillars. I think I think things like that, at least for last year. I think going forward, I think the bigger brands are gonna create more of a showcase atmosphere. But I imagine they learned, and I like your idea about getting some engineers there to talk to people.
Yeah.
And then I think the companies that brought their CEOs got a lot of value out of it as well.
Yes,
So Body Solid had Scott there.
Scott was there, yeah.
Peter was there, and Kayvon was there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think a lot the people who went, they got to see the people that they see on the marketing ads and in the chat of the Garage Gym Reviews Facebook page and Discord. So I think there's a lot of value in bringing a CEO and founder.
There's another thing I'll say is that there's opportunity for cross collaboration because to use bare steel equipment, for example, his stuff is designed to be used on a power rack or on on equipment that he doesn't make. So he brought his own stuff to set up so he could showcase how his bars work and his stack weight pins and things. And I'm like, there's some opportunity. What if he didn't have to do that? What if he could just bring his own products and put them on the products from another company? So now everybody who wants to see bare steel equipment is going to come over to that booth. Everybody who wants to see that company, whatever, is going to come over to their booth. And now you've got a little bit of synergy, you know what I mean? In terms of attracting people to your booth. And I think that there's opportunity there too.
So I have thought about that. I think like I wouldn't want to set up like a rental service. So like, I know like Bells of Steel helped out a few companies last year. Like there are smaller brands who are like, I'm driving from North Carolina. Can I please can you see if anybody can bring a power rack?
Yeah.
So I know like Bells of Steel helped somebody out last year. But I think companies like that would be willing to like spend, a couple $100 to rent a power rack for the weekend. That would save them a lot of energy. It would help fund the trip of the company renting the power rack. Like you mentioned, it would also, their brand would be at another person's booth and it'd be additional exposure. So I am trying to like take this one step at a time and do it like, don't want to overwhelm people. I think we already have the take home from booths section.
Sure.
I do think, and if anybody who's listening, they want to offer a rental service, and you guys, and I'm happy to help get that rolling, but I imagine it would be a slow burn this year and not really worth the extra effort. But if there's enough people asking for it, it might be worth looking into.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. So an example would be if you have like certain attachments for a power rack. Well, you need a power rack to show your attachments, right? So that to me then says, hey, if you find a company that is willing to let you put your attachments on their rack, well, then now this is my audition to show you why you need to sell my products as a distributor in your online store, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Is I can see the possibilities for B2B collaboration just by doing something as simple as that. So there's that. I did see something. All right. There it is from Keith. Keith said he definitely saw somebody flipping some stuff he bought last year. So, I mean, look, once you buy it, it's yours. So I don't care what you do with it. I will say what I object to is if somebody just goes and they buy up everything and it prevents other people who want to buy it from being able to get it. So I object to that. And Eric said, I like it when the booths have little contests. I do as well. I think that can be tough to run when, we've got a deadlift party that's going on at the same time. And in fact, this is a good segue to talk about the competitions that you're going to be having. I know Jameson mentioned them earlier, but let me go ahead and let's talk about that now. And we'll do this one here. So, said the Rory Strength and Vendetta booths will have a contest to win something. Oh, that's solid right there. I like that. Yeah, because I mentioned to Sean, like, hey, you could have a body weight bench press type deal, for your power bar or something like that. All right, so talk about the competitions real quick. You've got several set up, so you don't have to talk about how to enter them or anything like that, but just like what's going to be available to do, and then where can people go to find out more information about those?
Yeah, so there's a link on the website. You can sign up. There are 6 this year, so we're bringing back we're bringing back Grip, led by Rob, Strongman by Kurt, Olympic weightlifting with Meat Week Co. They're doing that again. We have a powerlifting meet added as well. Hybrid from that Ashley is running, and then Attitude Iron is running the Savage Strength Games, which is like a kettlebell, sandbag, mace type competition. So all of those. So if you're aware, last year there were just massive amounts of prizes for those competitions. We are putting in as of right now 13 $8,500 of cash into those from ticket sales. So there will at least be that for the winners. Each group leader will kind of figure out how they want to disperse. There will also be a number of prizes. I know Executive Fit's already donated to most. Jocko Fuels is going to donate to just about I think all of them. There's a few others. But yeah, I mean, I think most of these competitions are, a great way to be active during this convention. If you want to do something active, also gives you something to train for. The group directors, they all work really hard on these. They all are really focused on it. It's really cool to see. They take them very seriously. And if you want to compete next to some of your home gym owners, I think it's a cool way to do it. And there's also a good way to win random prizes. And then also one thing, like I think Kurt has mentioned this, is with all of these, we're able to collaborate with a lot of equipment companies, specialized equipment companies, and you're most likely going to be able to lift with amazing equipment that you wouldn't be able to do at a some strongman competition in the fields of Ohio, for example. So that's also another benefit. And so it's also something for people to watch as well. So if you're there, it's if you know somebody competing, it's cool to watch them. So
yeah, I mean, I thought it was like one of the most motivating things is watching the end of the strongman competition. Just seeing like the camaraderie that happened there.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so I'm going to run through the last few comments here on the live chat, and then I want to talk about your live show. So, Jameson said that one way everybody can keep the crowds quality and help the event start is you message exhibitors in advance, offering to help unload and set up. I did that last year with Bridge Build. I would instead say, what if you just become a volunteer for HomeGymCon in general? And I don't know do you have like a sign-up page, or will you have a sign-up page for anybody that wants to volunteer? Then they can just directly now they're available to start the event, and they don't necessarily have to work the whole time, but you know what I'm saying. I would just add that to that instead of messaging each individual exhibitor, or your favorite exhibitor. Just reach out to HomeGymCon, however you guys set it up, and say, hey, I want to be a volunteer and I can do this day, this amount of time, or whatever. And just do it like that. That's my suggestion.
If you want to volunteer, just reach out, and I'll probably be able to figure something out.
Yeah, I will figure out a way to make you work. Yes. All right. Hey, hello from the UK. Sorry for my late arrival. Good morning, USA, man. If you're out there wrestling deer in a field, dude, I'm not. Whatever you got to do to get through your day, man. Nah, it's good to have you, Matt. And congrats on the overhead press too. I saw that on Instagram. So I'm going to skip down. We got people agreeing. Rory said he's going to give gifts to everyone who shows up with a Roman Strength shirt. All right. And Eric wants people he said, go ahead, sign up. Go to Iron Podium and sign up because there's only 7 people signed up for the grip competition so far. Jared says he's going to sign his wife up. I'm not sure if she knows that yet, but he says he's going to get his wife signed up for the grip competition. Oh, okay. Here's an important PSA. If you aren't premium, don't feast at the premium dinners. So there's a little thing you kind of get like a wristband. Where have you thought about just giving like a different wristband if you're a premium attendee, and then you got to have that color wristband to get on? Don't say you got to have it to go to the dinner, but if it's set up like it was before, where it's like a bus to get on, a shuttle rather, say, okay, you got to have the right color wristband to even get on the shuttle. Because how much would it suck to go all the way there and then be told, now you got to go back. Now you got to get back on the shuttle and drive back with your lip stuck out. But yeah, that's my suggestion. Just got to have a wristband. Because we kind of there was a food shortage because of random people just showing up. All right. Now let's talk about current events. You went live for the first time this week. Yeah, this past Tuesday. So as we close up, and we're not like on a super tight time schedule.
I'm not.
We went a little bit long with that segment, but we got time to talk about it. So you went live for the first time. So tell me about that experience. How was that for you? First of all, tell me about the butterflies, because I'm going to be offended if you weren't as scared going into your first live as I was going into my first live.
Honestly, I wasn't that nervous.
All right, interview's over. Thanks for coming. Beat it. Dude, I was scared. I was like, is anybody going to watch this at all? So you tell me you had no butterflies.
I didn't have any butterflies, and I also just knew that I knew like I have no like expectations for the first like few months. It's something. Okay. Yeah, it's. I didn't care if 5 people came or if more people would have came, I might have noticed. But it wasn't like there weren't like hundreds of people there. Right. So I don't know. It was just it's one of those things where I wanted to do for a long time, and finally just said, all right, we're doing it. And in typical like fashion of how I do things, I just like start and just go for it. No expectations, and just learn as it goes. So, I do hope like the show does well, and eventually, people enjoy it, but I'm giving that time. So, right. So yeah, it's all about like starting. I meant like like one thing I was talking to you about was like, I just, going live, I didn't want to like really, I didn't know how to like practice because you like the only way to go live is to go live. Yeah. So like, so I went like, it was like Sunday afternoon. I went like, I turned off my mic or turned off my screen and just like went dark and went live on YouTube, just like trying to start playing with it. I went for like 3 minutes, and there were like 5 people who hopped on, and I was like, I need to get out of here.
See, that's what you get. I don't feel sorry for you. You should have reached out and said, hey, John, I'm planning on going live. Do you have any tips for me? And I would have been like, yeah, man, turn it on, set up your first live stream as private. And then you can be live all day if you want, and nobody will see it. You can get all the bugs out of the way. But I don't feel sorry for you because you didn't tell me. It was a surprise. On the other hand, it was a pleasant surprise, because I saw it. I was like, oh, we're about to take this thing over. There you go. No, I mean, legit, you remember that time you had me on your podcast and I said, I don't see you guys as competition. Instead, I see you guys, like everybody who's a content creator from the home gym community, I see us all as competing against the other kinds of fitness content, right? Because we're a subculture in a subculture. You know what I mean? There's not even a category, this kind of inside baseball, but if you have a YouTube channel and you upload content to it, there's not a category for fitness at all. All right. So although there are tons of fitness content creators on YouTube, there's not a fitness category at all. So imagine the fact that our category is so niche that there's not even a category for it on YouTube. And then we're a subsection of an already niche category. To me, it's more like a rising tide raises all boats. And if you guys are, as you said to me, the more people who go live on YouTube with this kind of content, the more people are going to realize it's out there. Then it's just a matter of them picking out what they like, who they vibe with, what they're in the mood for. And so I think it's really cool. Now, as I told you, I could tell just from facial expression that one thing that surprised you guys, I was watching it and I saw like Mike's face when he was like, I can't see, like you told him, hey, there's people in the chat. But then I saw his face when he actually was able to see the chat. He said, oh, man, there's actually people here talking, right? Like, this is crazy, right? But, how cool was it for you guys when you were doing your after the show thing where you're just talking, that day and in the days since then? How cool was it for you guys to realize, hey, look, people are actually tuning in. Maybe the crowd's not huge, but people are interested in this, and we might have something. How cool is that?
It's really cool. I hopped off and I was like, I liked that. That was fun. It was a nice challenge. And immediately it was like, oh, you learned a lot by just jumping in the fire. Like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. We didn't like figure out how to like show the comments until after. So things like that. So I think, yeah, me and my Knurled News game, we were both like, okay, that was fun. Time goes by pretty quick as well when you're doing this. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it's like you said, it's I don't know. I don't know other than like, yeah, I want to keep doing it. And I'm glad finally like just made the jump, because it really is, it's a totally different vibe than like knowing you can export it and like edit it, for example. Right. So you do have to be a little bit more prepared. You have to understand the end result is not going to be more polished. You know, there might be like, and I mean, it even happens to you on your show where you're like, oh, is my audio working? So,
oh heck, I remember when my mic shut off completely, and I couldn't get it working. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's 9:00 right now, and I've been on I've been up since about 3:30, but I went live at 6, and it feels like I've told you guys multiple times, and even when I was over at I was doing my live from Andrew Towers' place. He saw my show sheet, and I was like, dude, I run out of time to do all the topics every time because of the feedback you get from the people in the live chat. I don't think that people who watch on replay even get that same flavor of what it's like to, in the moment, be part of the conversation. And I think that I really think that we have the potential to make the idea of going live as a home gym content creator at different times of the day a real thing. Because I think that there's space for somebody to do it in the evening. You know, there's not really an afternoon drive home gym content creator thing. You know what I mean? So I think we need that.
I mean, like you said, I think the idea of we're not necessarily competitors is right, and the fact that like you're introducing people to live stream helps me push it. Well, thank you. Thank you.
You can do a lot with a medium. Okay. Right, yeah. So, but finish your thought.
Yeah. Where was I?
You were saying that
I'm blushing. I'm blushing.
Oh, well, we gotta put that on big camera. All right. So now, if you guys listen to the audio on Podbean, you're missing Jake blushing. Oh, you are blushing.
I don't.
Yeah. Now,
no, there's
so what
definitely.
You're saying is that seeing me do it live kind of like helps you figure out, okay, this is how I want my show to be. It even, you were telling me that it helps you understand that you wanted to get Mike on board with you to have somebody to kind of bounce off of instead of just doing it like by yourself. So yeah, it kind of like pushes everything forward.
Have you ever read the book Blue Ocean Strategy?
No, who's it by?
I don't know the author, but there's been a few like entrepreneurs who have brought it up on the podcast, and it's actually one of the it's one of the books that has been one of the biggest inspirations for me as I've like done this the last 8 years. So it's like there's blue oceans and then there's red oceans, and like from a home gym perspective, let's just say like the red oceans are the products that everybody sells, and it gets bloody and messy, and it's whereas like the blue ocean is where nobody else is selling it, and you're actually innovating,
right?
Like
I got you. Yeah, that makes
sense. And it doesn't and a lot of it like from like a product standpoint is like just basic value.
Mm-hmm.
But like from my perspective and your perspective is the red ocean is home gym reviews, is like the reviews on gym equipment.
Yeah.
And then the blue ocean is like subsets off of it. So I've been doing a newsletter and a blog for like the last 8 years, and then also started a podcast 3 or 4 years ago. And those are the things, the podcast specifically was like what helped me get HomeGymCon from the ground up.
Right. Because you had contacts.
Because I had contacts. And if I was just doing only gym equipment reviews, it probably wouldn't have worked. So like
right.
And then that's also a way, if everybody is just doing gym equipment reviews, like the growth potential is much smaller than if content creators start like expanding on what they do, because you have people who listen to podcasts, you have people who want to meet in person, you have people who prefer like reading. So as long as like people continue to like, you don't necessarily have to like reinvent the wheel, but if you can actually take your own spin on things and do things in a little bit of a different way to help a certain audience, and the way to like help that certain audience is to like be involved and learn as you go. I think it's better for all. And that's also one thing, like I think HomeGymCon does it. I mean, it brings people together, but it also like motivates you, and it gives you ideas, and ultimately those can help spread, and also and it's really good for the home gym industry as a whole.
Right. I think so. Here's the thing I think that's gonna help out everybody. I see your comment on it. I'm gonna pop that up in a second. So when I first decided to go live, I was already doing, the podcast and the interviews, right? And then I was like, there's a gap, because I had already done live streams for powerlifting meets and covering strongman competitions. And I remembered how much fun it was having people in the chat going back and forth with me. But when I said, well, what would I need to do in order to make it work? If in a competition, there's something for you to look at. This is just going to be me sitting down talking to you for however long, right? And there was nothing. Obviously, I'm the first one to do it. So I literally had to look outside of our community in order to get ideas on how to do it. So shout out to First String Podcast. Shout out to OGs of the DMV. Those are people who happen to like the same professional NFL football team that I like. Well, I'm watching, shout out to Louis T Network also. So I started watching their content, like say, hey, how are these guys doing it? They're interacting with people. They're talking about football, talking about Washington Redskins and the Commanders. And then those guys not only showed me kind of me just watching how they were interacting, but also First String Podcast, specifically Rio Robinson. They actually, I reached out to them and they actually gave me tips. Some of them have actually even had me on their shows, so that they've exposed my show to a new audience. Because think about it, like some people, like they're watching your show because they like football, but they might have a home gym. So that was one thing I found that helped me in terms of growing it, is going outside of the home gym community to just talk to people who were randomly, who have a common interest with me in terms of other things. In this case, it was football. So what I saw there was the power of community, because they were able to get people to not only support their show with super chats, but now they're also doing get-togethers. Like, hey, we're going to be at such and such place. We're all going to go watch the game together. We're going to have a watch party over here. We'll watch the game at the same time. Like, literally, they'll have a live stream where they're watching the game. The game's not on their screen because NFL copyright. So this guy's watching the game, but he's got a live stream of them people watching him, and they're all discussing the game through live chat, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, so if we project that further forward, we'll have our own version of that. And what's the number one thing that I think people run into when they have a home gym is the lack of community contact. You know, like you get isolation. It's very easy to be isolated in your home gym, and you can lose motivation to train. You can lose that kind of like the human element. You know what I'm talking about? Like where you kind of like, we're human beings are designed to be tribal, to be pack animals, right? And I think that it's very, very easy to just become so insular in your home gym that it actually ends up hurting you when it's supposed to be something that's going to push you forward. So I think that having multiple channels going live would be an awesome thing at different times of the day, because I watched you on Tuesday. If there was somebody on Wednesday, I could watch them. Now that gives me something every day. You know what I mean? Something I could tune into every day. And you're right, man. There's only so many reviews I can watch before I'm just like, oh, okay. You know, it's great. Oh, it's a bench. Yay. You know? So, yeah. So Onan said, I think home gym competitions are a huge untapped blue ocean. I agree with that, because so they had, so obviously you got garage gym competition that Joe's been doing for a while. That's more of a virtual competition. But yeah, I mean, I think that we have, we kind of dipped our toe into the virtual competition thing of actually like, you know, somebody is competing something, you know what I'm talking about? Like we're all online and we're all videoing ourselves. So it's almost like a group workout and we're all taking turns lifting. So we've done a couple of those virtual powerlifting meets. I think there's potential there. But yeah, I think there are also the meetups where you just get together. Let's say, so like Keith has people come over to the No Wine Cellar all the time. That'd be really easy. Hey, you have like a bench press for charity event or something like that, you know? I think there's a lot of potential. What do you think about that?
Yeah. So one thing that one thing that I actually, in terms of your like meetup, one thing that I've said on the podcast was, I think like some sort of online map. So I think what GoRx Fitness should do is just turn their platform into an online map of home gym owners. So you know like who's in your area. And I think what Massonomics just did was really clever with their they have like a official Massonomics banner. You can purchase it and it gets you added to like the master list of everybody who owns that banner. So you can see who's where the community is really. And I think that's a really cool idea. But I do think that is something that could be cool and connects people locally. I mean, I also think home gym competitions have a lot of potential. If you can't tell, I've put in a lot of energy into bringing them at HomeGymCon and absolutely have ideas to expand that in the future. So
yes. Yeah. So Joey said Massonomics certified training facilities. Yeah.
Yes. It's brilliant.
Oh yeah. I mean, and so to be fair, they also have a lot of people who do the meetups all the time. Massonomics, I mean, they do that. Street Parking does a really good job of that as well. You know, they'll have street individual members who get together to do the workouts, whatever workout it is for that day, or they'll have a group meetup for all of them. And I think there's so many of them that they'll like take over an entire parking lot, you know, like a huge parking lot. They'll just take it over, and I think it's really cool. Carlos said, I remember my first live, time did fly by. It was 2.5 hours in no time at all. Yeah, you really, I'm looking. So during my interviews, I'm always looking at the clock because I always start I'm like, man, time is running out. Like it's already almost 9:15, you know, and I typically try to do these an hour and be done, but it's like, it's so much fun. I literally look forward to doing this every week, you know, and it's crazy to me. My channel, I got the notification from YouTube that my channel is 7 years old. And I can say that the most exciting part of that has been this past 51 weeks of doing this show. So it's crazy to me that the show's done 51 weeks, where, next year will be a year. And one of the biggest things for me is showing proof of concept was seeing you go live on Tuesday, because people don't, if it's a bad idea, people wouldn't be showing up, and nobody else would have, like, you're not going to sign up to do something that's a bad idea. You know what I mean? So that's actually, I don't know if you intended it as encouragement or not, but it was,
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. And I also see what you're doing, and I'm like, I don't want to do 3 hours. So I'm like, like you said, you take your own kind of spin, you turn it. So we plan on doing it for like an hour a week.
Right. Actually, that is a good question. Have you guys nailed down what day and time it's going to be? Because you said you're going to experiment with different days and times.
So yeah, we're sticking with 9:30 a.m. Eastern every Tuesday.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
It's more of like we're committed to that time. If anything changes, we will in the future change it to a specific time every week. But that's the difficult part, sticking to it every single week, same time.
100%.
Right.
One thing I would say as just advice is I've got 2 people lined up in case something comes up and I can't do the show. So, I have to let them know ahead of time, but I remember one time I lost my voice. That was not cool at all. I lost my voice. Like, how am I going to do the show? So I reached out to Jonathan. I say, hey, man, I need you to carry the show. Come on with me and carry the show for at least the first hour, because I can't do 3 hours with the way my voice is. So, yeah, that's the only thing I would think of is come up with some. And then the other thing is, I think that's going to help is it's difficult to get brands to agree to come on at this, this early in the morning, because they're getting their day started, and depending on where they are in the world, so you're at 9:30, all right, that might be 6 a.m. for them. He's still at home. You know what I mean? Like Kayvon came on the last time, he was at home still. And so there's that. But I also say that if it's important enough, if the show's big enough,
right,
they'll make the time to come on. So that's what I mean. It's like, I think we can go ahead and we try to figure out ways to kind of support each other. And I'm willing to do, as I've said to you before, I'm willing to do anything I can to help you. And I have zero shame in reaching out to you and say, hey, man, I need help with this or that. Because, I think it's, again, rising tide raises all boats. So
that's right.
So go ahead. I'll put this across here. If you got anything else that you want to plug, I'm sending this right there. Got anything else you want to plug before you go, man? Go ahead and let everybody know. And then I will tell them what's coming up next week.
Yeah, I mean, you can just buy your HomeGymCon tickets. If you're not subscribed to Garage Gym Radio, feel free to check it out. Would love for some additional subscribers. But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, I will tell you guys, go ahead. I got the links to all that stuff in the video description. If you listen to the audio version, I'm going to have it in the show notes. So you'll be able to get the link to subscribe to Jake's newsletter, so you can keep up, not Neural News. I'll put the link for that too, but the link for HomeGymCon updates, I'll put all that stuff in there so you guys can check it. Man, I appreciate you coming on the show. And if you ever need a random guest to come on and just run his mouth, I'm definitely down to come on there on a Tuesday and talk with you guys at any time. So I'm excited to see where you guys go with this, man. I think it'll be cool. We got one more. My mom has given you a thumbs up, and that's all you needed. That's all you needed, man. All right. I appreciate you being on here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Always.
Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. That was my guy, Jake, from HomeGymCon and Garage Gym Radio and Garage Gym Experiment. Jake is taking over the world, and I love to see it. All right. As I mentioned a second ago, well, first of all, shout out to the West Coast. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. We've already had one of your representatives, 619 ER, my guy Jay, he's been on since like 3 o'clock in the morning your time. So he represented y'all well. But the rest of you, thank you for being here. We got about 825 people right now. We went as high as 1,100. Favorite and click that like button if you did not already, because we need your help and support in order to grow this channel. And then I want you to share this link with other people who might enjoy this content so they see what they missed out on. Next week, I'll tell you that what we've got coming up next week. Mike Reed from Micro Gains is going to be returning. Mike was our first guest on the first ever episode of our morning live streams. Back when the show was called Way Too Early for a Friday, Mike is coming back to talk about how his brand, the Micro Gains brand, has grown. And I'm going to also talk about how this show has grown and changed in the past year. When Mike came on, we were still doing home gym dance parties. So a lot has changed in the past 51 weeks. And I'm excited to talk about all the stuff that has come, all the little victories along the way that are 100% thanks to you guys. And also let you guys know what we got coming up in the future. Plus, we're going to be welcoming, as I mentioned earlier, our first guest from Japan, Kevin, who lives in Japan. He has founded the Home Gym Gains YouTube channel. He's going to be on the show talking about starting his YouTube channel and what the home gym community is like in Japan. You know, their homes tend to be a little bit smaller. So I'm excited to find out about what it takes to build a home gym in Japan. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it, hey, make sure you guys are following at Garage Gym Life on Threads, because that's where I give you guys the latest information about what's happening on this channel. And until next week, all I need you to do is keep on stacking days.